currently.
Yeah, it's pretty bort. Oh, fuck, I started the goddamn stream without changing the title. Damn it, Hitchhiker, I knew something was gonna go wrong.
Rusty.
Me and you are playing Left 4 Dead right now, apparently.
Sick. I love Left 4 Dead. I've definitely played it at some point, I think.
Just need to update this quickly, before anyone gets in. Just chatting.
Oh yeah, sure enough. It says you're live now. Millz DMC is streaming Left 4 Dead 2.
Motherfucker. Okay, and now by all means proceeds the holy act of shilling, so I will do that right now. Via Twitter and my Discord. Okay. HitchHiker is here.
Yep, there we go.
Let's go.
I've shilled on my end.
What a fucking unit. Dr. Shy Guy shows up immediately. Can always count on Dr. Shy Guy.
Oh yeah, I should click on this actual thing. Channel is rated for mature audiences. Millz, are you telling me this isn't a family-friendly stream?
This is not a family friendly. Listen, my favourite thing in life is mature. It's my favourite way of approaching people. It's my favourite category. And it's also my favourite way of streaming. So...
Oh Christ. Oh, this is terrible. I'm like hearing you in the Discord chat, and I'm looking at you like lip synced about half a minute behind.
Yeah, I would just pause.
This is a nightmare. I need to like pop out chat or something. I can't look at this. I can't watch.
Just pause it, and then it's like, it's good. That's what I do. I just pause.
Good call, good call. Just let me know when the fucking video starts playing. When we get to that. Anyway.
It's gonna be delayed as well. Maybe I should like, you know what? No, that won't work. I could.
Maybe you could probably just screen share for the portion where we go over that. It definitely won't destroy your bitrate.
I could screen share it and then fucking like put the pod box on the goddamn screen being shared. Okay, we can do that.
Oh, that's big brain.
Yeah.
Yeah, because if you use like full screen projector, nice.
God, I'm just an animal when it comes to good ideas.
Clearly.
See, it's good that you're Australian then, so you should have no problem understanding me because, you know, the Australian accent's pretty fucked up and the Scottish accent's pretty fucked up. Well, actually, it's very fucked up, but...
Yeah, it's weird because normally, like, I have a bad time with most accents, but I can handle most stuff in the Commonwealth pretty well.
In the Commonwealth, that was elegantly put. Okay.
Oh, yeah. Grew up in Australia. My mom grew up in Australia, born in England. Don't get it twisted.
Don't get it twisted, yeah. And now what, you live in America?
I was technically born in America, so it's like...
Right, okay.
But...
You got some fucking...
Oh god, what the fuck is this? Oh god. Kyo, now is not the time.
What has he done?
Kyo wanted to join the podcast. Clearly.
What, is that what you said? Can I come in?
No, he just called by mistake, I think.
Ah, okay. He's trying to steal you from me. Run of the Kyo. Or whatever. What's this podcast called? Talk about the devil?
Talking with the Devil?
Ah, okay.
Yeah.
You shouldn't do that.
Tune in for the next version of Talking with the Devil, where he'll have Matt Walker on to announce that the Virgil DLC has been cancelled.
See, if I wanted that to happen, it would definitely be on a Kyo stream. Okay, let's see.
Black homie.
Someone just followed. Who followed?
Tune in to watch his heartbreak in real time.
Oh shit, the Sphere Hunter, what's up? She just followed.
Oh shit!
Hitchhiker, you're on the spot.
Hi, Susie. I'm a fan of your work. Sorry about the nightmare you had with that Parasite Eve video.
Oh yeah, so that she got like copyright fucking...
Square Enix hates that game's ending, dude. They don't want anyone to know about it.
I don't know anything about that game, to be honest. I don't have a...
I watched Lily's playthrough of it, and oh boy, I never thought I would see a game that did worse character assassination than Other M, but here we fucking are.
Okay.
Oh, it's sick. Someone started using a power drill outside.
Excellent. I can't hear it. Don't worry. It's all good.
Great.
I don't know why you were so fucking cautious about your mic quality. It's like perfect. It's better than mine. You're using like noise suppression for no reason.
Dude, I'm a nervous boy. What do you want from me?
I'm nervous. I'm like the biggest fucking nobody in the DMC. Like, I'm the biggest fucking clown nobody. Like, what am I gonna do? You think I'm
Yeah,
gonna
but
like?
at least you are a clown. Like, you might be in the fucking small pond. You're in a fucking pond,
That's true.
at least. I guess I'm in the pond now too. That's fucking weird.
Also, Susie.
This entire
Sorry,
this
go on.
entire thing has been weird.
That's okay.
Sorry?
It's a weird world. Thanks for the sub, Sky, and Susie. Thanks for the follow because that pushed me up to 500 followers. So yay!
Hey,
Woo!
sick! Congrats, man.
Had to happen when fucking HitchHiker was here. God damn it! Out of all the people it could have been, should have got Q in here. Nah, I'm only joking. Thanks for the follow, homies. Why am I hearing that twice? Oh, okay, there we go.
Also, I'm revoking your Scottish card for wanting to celebrate with a Frenchman.
So we were allied with the French against the English. That's
Were you?
yeah. We fucking.
Alright.
Where are
I'll
all these
believe it.
noises coming from? Is that just looping on repeat? What is that? Don't do it again.
Oh, let me turn the thing back on. Oh no, hang on. That's a terrible idea. I'm gonna not do that. I like thought about that for half a second and decided it was not worth it.
Why am I just
Anyway.
hearing the alerts over and over again? What is going on?
Mute yourself for like a second.
Okay, whatever. I think it's like showing alerts on all my scenes for some fucked up reason. Twitch, OBS, who knows? I'm not gonna break anything. We're just gonna go. Okay, so you wanna do a wee countdown here? 3, 2, 1. Hi everyone, welcome to Run of the Mills. I'm
Hello.
Millz. No, this is not your time, Hitch. This is my time. Just stand back a little bit, okay? Just.
All right.
You're already trying to take over. Is this going to be Run of the Strive, huh? Is that what this is going to be? You're going to take over, you're going to kick me out my own show, and you're going to, like, mod, like, I don't know. Make some goddamn... Okay, whatever. I'm only joking, by the way. I'm fucking with you. Welcome to Run of the Mills.
New update replaces Mills with a better Scotsman.
Like who? Who do you know that's a better Scotsman, huh?
I don't know. I mean, it's a fucking... Is that even true? I think that's true. Yeah, it's a boring answer, but I like David Tennant. David Tennant's cool.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. Yeah, I'll give you that one.
Damn shame he didn't get to do the Scottish accent when he was doing the 10th Doctor. Anyway.
Anywho, I didn't watch Doctor Who, so...
Welcome to the Greater Commonwealth podcast, in which we talk about fuck the Irish, I guess. I don't know.
No. Fuck the English.
Yeah, well, that's unfortunate.
I have
As
Irish
for
in me,
you,
son. I am one. I am one with the Irish.
Damn, no one in here.
Yeah.
Anyway, hello.
My guest today is the HitchHiker, the one and only, the developer of Strive, DMC Strive. Which, if you don't know what that is, it's like an overhaul of DMC5. That makes like a lot
I
of
mod
changes.
things and have no clue what I'm doing.
That's okay. No one here knows what they're doing. That's like you fit in. So yeah, how are you, man? How's things?
Oh, I'm doing all right. I woke up this morning. I tried to figure out why I couldn't guard fly, and then realized I had the guard fly option not enabled. And then I figured out that I couldn't guard fly because Balrog has different air hike animations than the other air hike animations in the game, because he has fucking... What do you call it? Flush. You know, whatever the fuck Flush is called in this game.
Yeah.
The one where they jump back. So I had to code those separately. And now I can guard fly and do the air hike redirect. And that's good.
Air hike redirect. We've been live at 9 minutes and we're already talking about it. I wanted to save that for late. No, I'm joking. What was I going to say? I was going to say something about guard flying. So see, obviously, like, you don't play, like, DMC4 or 3 too much?
I have played... I can actually just give you the answers to that if you are willing to wait 1 second.
Of course.
I have 39 hours on the Devil May Cry HD collection. That's probably going to be split between Devil May Cry 1 and Devil May Cry 3.
Mm-hmm.
I have just about 100 hours on Devil May Cry 4 Special Edition.
Right.
Some of that was when I started playing it the first time, and then recently I've probably done like 10 hours just doing Virtual Bloody Palace recently, because I needed something to do. And then I have 1,560 hours in Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah. How much of that would you say is modding compared to gameplay?
probably the majority of it. I want to say that I have maybe like in terms of actual gameplay, maybe 50 hours in Devil May Cry 5.
Jesus, that is crazy. Um,
Yeah, it's
yeah, that's
time flies
ridiculous.
when you're staring at a debug screen.
Is so like the majority of those hours just like you fucking around with things in game and like testing? Is that like how that works?
It's kind of it's a mix of things. Like some of it is it's like my time is either going to be split between looking at fucking about with the game and trying to figure out how to do different things.
Mm-hmm.
And then the other part of it is then, okay, how do I make code so I can do this reliably?
Right.
Kyo gave me a fucking heart attack in chat. Thanks for that, Kyo. Appreciate you, buddy.
I do like the I like how you like how quick you are to react to things like that. Like when I said, "Ah, shit, this is freezing," you're just like, "Right, okay, send me your save." Like there was no fucking around. Like you're immediately on
Yeah,
it.
well, yeah, I like, because here's the thing. As of this point, one or two people, relatively like popular people, like, fucking Lythro, was like, hey, I might check this out on stream at some point.
Uh
And
huh.
I was like, cool. Let me know if you have any issues because I don't want that shit getting fucked up in the big time. So,
Yeah.
yeah, I like to think I've gotten fairly good at condensing the tech support experience, at
Yeah.
least for this thing.
Do you have playtesters? Like I know Kyo does some stuff for you, doesn't he?
Um, I don't really have like any official play testers. The people I have are I occasionally bug Penguin. I was bug Penguin a lot for when Strive was coming out, and
Mm-hmm.
less now because we're working on like other stuff and he doesn't really have the time. He helped with a lot of the initial bug fixing stuff, and Kino is like I asked Kyo when I was doing the first video for Strives, like, hey, could you record some combo? I sent out like a general thing. It was like, hey, anybody want to record combo footage for this thing? And Kyo was like, I'll do it. And so now Kyo basically falls under the position of, hey, I made a combo thing. I can't combo. Kyo, you do it. And then he checks and sees if it works.
So that's something that I was kind of getting to asking about your hours in DMC4 and stuff because obviously you coded the whole guard flying stuff. Well, I think Cyan had something to do with it as well, didn't he?
Uh, okay, so let's break this down.
Yeah,
The
yeah,
guard flying thing, because it's always a fucking mess when it comes to this stuff. And actually, it's kind of also the interesting thing about the collab table, in which like 60%, probably the majority of the stuff in this thing is just not mine,
right.
like at all. The guard flying thing was basically coded by Sox and Cian way back in
Okay, so it's the same one then. Yeah,
no.
okay,
So the guard flying thing is just, hey, it makes the guard go fast.
right.
What I've been doing is I coded redirectable inertia, and now I've coded redirectable air hike. So I coded it for enemy step, and then I've updated the coding for air hike, and now together that makes guard flying actually like useful.
Right, okay. Um, See, it was a thing that because I remember it was. I don't know if you're familiar with Sky Art, the guy who does Astoria Legends. You know that game?
Nope.
Okay, so it's like a 2D DMC style game, like an indie game.
Oh! I think I might have seen like Twitter footage of this.
Yeah,
Is it
like
the cool one where the style meter goes like up to X rank or above or something?
I don't think so. I don't think it goes to X rank.
Uh,
Um,
Whatever. Send me a fucking image and I'll
I'll send
see.
you some shit. But basically, he was like he's kind of close to the DMC players, like me included. And
Oh, interesting.
a while back, it was in Martin G's server. He was like Sky was asking like for basically for tips on how to implement inertia and things like that. Obviously, because if you're gonna be doing something like that, you want to go to the DMC4 players. They're gonna know exactly like
Yeah.
what the fuck. Um, and like Martin G explained to him a lot of stuff, but like you could
Mm.
tell that even though Martin G explained it, I think like basically Sky he implemented it, but he didn't quite get how it worked. If you know what I mean, like how it worked in the original
So,
in DMC4. So I
and is
guess
there an issue with the implementation in Astoria, or does it like
no, it just
work
doesn't.
good?
It works fine. It's like it doesn't do things. it's hard to explain it. It doesn't like basically
Doesn't feel right.
yeah, basically it's made by someone who doesn't know how to use it in DMC4 is the point I'm trying to make. Like he doesn't know,
Yeah.
which isn't a bad thing. Like it's not like everyone fucking like that shit's hard. You know what I mean? It's like not easy. But I guess my point was like, are you ever gonna like go back to DMC4 and attempt to learn some of the things like guard flying, like how to do it, so that like
Um.
because I know that someone else did that. I don't know if I can even mention that. I think. Do you know who Deep is? You know who Deep is?
Yeah, I know who
Yeah,
Deep is. Deep
yeah,
is. I've talked to him 5 times. He's an interesting individual and clearly way more skilled than I am.
yeah,
So that's neat.
yeah. He's crazy.
But yeah, I know who he is.
Yeah. That was no disrespect to Sky, by the way. Like the game's still fucking cool, and obviously the point is like if you're trying to implement something from like DMC4 like that, you really need to play with it to understand it.
This is the bit where I'm gonna have to hard disagree with you
Uh,
because the interesting thing about I think the I think the message I sent to Cian back in February was how does inertia work? What redirects? And from there, Cian with probably an infinite amount of patience and some very very helpful gifts, kind of just like broke down the base essentials of how stuff worked.
mm,
Like just you enemy step and then you immediately cancel and you preserve, and then you enemy step, hold the stick, and then cancel to redirect. And he basically like broke down the individual details and like what currently worked and what didn't. And then from that and a lot of additional work, I was able to basically implement redirection
mm.
almost without knowing how to do the advanced stuff. Like I did end up learning it, but I ended up learning it while I was testing the version I made in 5.
Mm. See, that kind of proves both of our points. Like you're right. Like he did explain that to you, but he is a modder who also learned how to do it and like can bring it over. So you know what I mean? It's like how
Yeah, it's
well.
secondhand.
Yeah, exactly. Like having knowledge of both and like the way
Yeah,
Cyan does.
if I didn't know how inertia had worked, there was no way I could have.
Yeah, like I couldn't have explained it to you. But because Cyan obviously knows the intricacies of like both DMC4 and Cheat Engine or whatever, he obviously explained it in a way that was transferable. So I guess that works. Okay, but we'll call that a tie, Hitchhiker. You know, we will.
Sure.
Okay, fair enough.
I find it very interesting because like and in the process of like working on the more advanced like mechanical stuff, like not really to do with Strive, more just to do with the whole inertia redirect stuff. I ended up learning how to do a bunch of like somewhat advanced tech that I otherwise would have had like no I otherwise would have had no inkling or motivation to learn.
Right.
Because as of like right now, I have like I have actually uploaded maybe a single like piece of a combo on Twitter that uses a double guard fly, which means that yes, I did learn how to guard fly.
Mm-hmm.
I something that I never thought I would ever actually do, but just something that had to come up in the course of doing the modding.
Yeah.
So like while I didn't have to go back to DMC4, I did have to learn how to do the tech. I just had to learn how to do it in 5.
Yeah. And it's like very similar. The only real difference is it's a little harder in DMC4, but it's not that hard to do. There's much harder things you can do in 4. Like with inertia,
Yeah,
but fucking Guardfly isn't one of them, to be honest.
I was surprised how easy guard flying was. I was like, okay, so what's the big deal? And then CN was like, you jump and then you hit guard and you hold the stick in a direction. And I was like, that's it?
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the hard part is following it up or doing things like sky running, which is like going back forth, like on a ground enemy, back forth, back forth. That shit's really hard. Yeah.
I have a single sky run.
Yeah. Yeah.
I sky run once, and then because DMC4 is a lovely and great thing, the fucking oh god, what even was it? Right, the dive kick hitbox just decided to not connect with the enemy during the combo, so it didn't even matter. Great times.
Do you enjoy?
Love.
Do you enjoy
It's
playing 4 Dante?
definitely. Do I enjoy DMC4 Dante?
Yeah.
I'm gonna be very blunt and upfront. No, but I hate him less than I used to.
Okay, that's fair.
Because my experience with DMC4, oh fucking boy, let me tell you. So, everyone I think has a rough time when they get to like mission, what is it, 13, 14 in DMC4 when they get to Dante for the first time.
I think it's 13, isn't it? I think it's 12.
Probably.
Fuck knows, it's one of them. Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway,
Yeah.
whatever. I ended up having a rougher time than I think a lot of people for a couple of reasons. One, I pretty much played 3. My first time playing 3 was with the style switcher installed, which honestly you wouldn't think would like hurt for getting used to DMC4 because it implements the style switch mechanics.
Yep.
But there is a distinct difference between how the the trickster dodge in 3 and the trickster dodge in 4 works. Namely, the cooldown on the end of the third dodge is slightly different in the games. So that set me up for some not great times. And then the other fucking thing was I was using, for the majority of it, I have it right here, a goddamn Steam controller.
Oh, jeez.
Because it was the controller I owned. And I do like the Steam controller for what it is and what it can do. But I want you to listen to something real quick.
Was that?
Do you hear that?
Yep, I hear it. You clicking in a stick?
That is the sound. No, that is the sound the right bumper makes when you click on it.
Oh. Do it again. Let me hear it again. Oh, fucking Jesus. No.
So, it is, believe it or not, the resistance on that bumper is so hard that I actually was like, I can't beat Sanctus. Because you know the thing where you snatch with Nero? You just like snatch on one thing, snatch on the other thing, then snatch to Sanctus and fuck him up.
Yep.
I could not chain the snatches. That's how bad it was.
I assume
So that combined with not having a good time with Dante, combined with the god-awful fucking savior boss fight
Yeah.
at the end, and I was almost just like done with DMC, like, period, after that shit.
Really? Wow.
Yeah. I ended up... Sorry, this story just is, like, weird, so I feel it's worth bringing up. The reason I ended up going back to DMC4 was... What the fuck is... Okay. Hitting bullshit on my keyboard. The way I ended up going back to DMC4 is possibly even weirder, because I was checking it out on Linux using the new Proton Steam Play thing at the time. And it worked okay, bar an interesting little bug where the game would slow down when you had like a high number of enemies on the screen, but not like slow down in the way of like it dropped frames. Like the entire game just slowed down.
Like it was an emulator? Yeah, I think I get what you mean. Yeah.
Yeah. So I looked at that for a second, and I looked at my new Xbox controller. I was like, okay. And then I turned the difficulty to Legendary Dark Knight. And I had possibly the most fun I've ever had with a Devil May Cry game, in which I was effectively playing a real-time strategy game with a single incredibly overpowered unit. And everything I kind of ended up learning how to appreciate in DMC4 came from that. I ended up like figuring out when to use Darkslayer, figured out stuff about how to deal with the bullshit enemy designs, figured out how to correctly fight Credo, because I'd had a god-awful experience with him the first time around because I just didn't understand the fight.
Yeah, me too.
And I think there was a moment in like a forest mission where there were like 40 enemies on screen. I did a max bet, and then I did a max bet, a level 3 charge shot to deal with a blitz that had popped up. And then I busted the blitz. The blitz jumped out. And then the blitz did a jump in, and the blitz went to attack me. I busted it. Blitz jumped out, jumped in from the top. I jumped up to meet it, did another buster, killed it, landed on the ground, did the guitar taunt at SSS, and then every enemy died and the combat encounter ended. And I was like, yeah, okay, this is a pretty cool video game.
Yeah.
So after a very weird journey, I ended up liking for what it was. And I ended up liking Dante a lot more once I got just more comfortable with the weapon switching stuff.
Yeah.
I ended up like coming to grips with like what Lucifer was, and how it could just kind of be used fairly okay. Oddly enough, fucking Gilgamesh is like my most hated weapon in that game.
How come?
Just the charge shit. I feel like the hitbox is always like too small and the charge times are too long to do anything. In case it isn't very clear, I am a scrub fucking player.
Yeah. Yeah, HitchHiker's not a high level DMC player, he's just a super high level fucking modder, which is equally as important, if not more. In fact, I would say it's more important. Like, there's a lot of high level players, but how many fucking good modders is there? There's like you, Cyan, Deep.
I count them on one hand.
Yeah.
There's me, Cyan, Deep, Dante, and Razor are doing their own thing.
Uh-huh.
There's a dude called Mysterious Powers who showed up for like a couple seconds and now he's gone.
What did he do?
And he did a really janky Virgil teleport cheat table early on, which was kind of interesting with the stuff it did. And then he vamped out, and then we never saw him again.
Rip.
So basically 5 people.
Yeah, like there's not too many. Which is unfortunate. Like if this, I mean, I don't know how much can like what you guys are doing feels like the most that can be done. So I'm not sure if any more modders being there would have helped, but
I feel like we're exploring. I definitely feel like there is, because like at the very least, personally, I feel like I'm like, damn, I wish I had more time to investigate other stuff other than the things I'm working with. Because I feel like there's definitely other things that can be looked into in this game, and especially in regards to like one of the things I want to do when I get the time. Sirius also did no wall collision stuff too, right? I think actually that table had the no clip collision stuff from like a different table as well. And also, I have no idea what the Chinese DMC modding community looks like. That's like just an unknown factor for me. So who knows what crazy bullshit they have. But yeah, no. What I was gonna say was, I've never had a chance to look into enemy AI, and that's something that I've always really wanted to try fucking with. But just due to the amount of stuff I have on hand right now, it's like don't have the time. So it's just gonna keep getting pushed back. So yeah, there's definitely space for like more gameplay modders, and it's like honestly something that kind of bums me out, especially in regards to like Devil May, especially when I was starting out modding, looking at like the state of the modding community, because like Infernal Works is great if you're interested in cosmetics, right? If you're interested in creating costumes, if you're interested in new models, any of that stuff,
yeah,
like they have you covered and down low. And then it was like, in comparison, there were maybe 3 people in the gameplay modding shit, and it's like, that bugs me because 90% of the fun of Devil May Cry 5 is the gameplay.
yeah,
you know?
100%.
Anyway.
But like, it's because like, you know, the work it takes to do gameplay mods as opposed to like cosmetic mods, it's like night and day. You know, like I'm pretty sure I could fucking figure it out pretty quickly, but could I go in Cheat Engine and do some shit? Fuck no. It would take me months upon months to learn that shit to like make Dante run slightly faster, you know? Like, the level of work and commitment is like night and day, I imagine. I'm not an expert, but it just seems like it would be.
See, here's the thing. I'll definitely say that the fucking cheat engine stuff is like not documented well, the stuff you can do with cheat engine. Mainly just due to my inability to write up how the fuck any of the stuff I do works. But a lot of the stuff I do isn't necessarily that hard. I've done some dev streams, and I think people have probably seen at least. Whenever I do an animation swap, it's generally like I search for 2 values, and then I change. And they're just basically animation IDs, and I change one number to the other number, and then a character will do a different move. Or like, I don't know. It's short. It's certainly hard. It's not like impossible. I think the lack of information about it makes it appear a lot harder than it really is. Kind of like DMC tech, actually.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah, fair enough. So so where does the background for your like ability to mod come from? Do you like a programmer or what? Like how do you?
So I am a CS student at a university.
Right.
I don't really. I'm still like going through the stuff, I haven't really learned anything in CS stuff that you can't learn in a programming 101 class, with the exception of maybe like with the exception of like the GUI stuff that I do for the new versions of the cheat table that I learned elsewhere. In regards to like actual modding stuff, the first modding that I really like properly did was in the Persona community.
Right.
SMT Persona, and this was back before Persona Golden came out on PC, which meant these guys were modding PS2 ROMs.
That's crazy.
Which is no, there are some people in that there is a very small community. I'm just not going to name it because they've had issues with people in the past, but they have an incredibly talented and organized group of people who created shit like a mod loader that allowed you to create mods for like the majority of Persona games. And that stretches from the PS2 to the PS3 to the PS4 to the fucking Persona, the PlayStation Portable to the PlayStation Vita. So that's like a single program supporting like 10 games across 5 different consoles. Sorry, it's not really related other than I just find that nuts.
Yeah, that's crazy.
But I ended up doing a bit of modding there. Not really anything that ended up being relevant to like what I do in 5. But the main thing I learned there was just like 2 things. One, and honestly, it was mainly just persistence is what I learned. I got a degree of self-confidence in like figuring out modding stuff, and I got very good at like sticking with a problem until it was solved.
Right.
And that, like, more than anything else, was the main thing I brought into when I started modding 5, because when I started modding 5, I didn't even know how to use Cheat Engine.
Fucking hell, really? Jeez.
Yep. Hang on, let's not ignore that. That's fine.
Things are getting destroyed, but that's okay. That's how we do it.
It's all good.
Yeah.
The actual first thing I did was... The reason I guess this kind of ties in a bit to like how I started doing anything with DMC5 was way back when the game came out on Castle Super Beast. There was a brief letter about an idea that I believe has plagued the community in the Devil May Cry community for a while and caused many people to just want to die, which is style synergy.
Is that the fucking...
Have you heard of that?
Is it the custom move list or whatever, the custom control scheme or whatever? Is that what we're talking about here?
Yeah, there was an idea proposed that was basically like, what if you instead of having the styles on the D-pad,
I've seen it. Yeah.
You put the styles on each button, and a lot of people had like their own versions of the stuff. But when I looked at it initially, I was like, I could probably do that using Steam input, which is have you ever opened up controller configs in Steam?
Yep. Big picture.
Yeah, if you open it up in Big Picture and you take a look, there's the usual button rebindings. But they're a little more advanced than they look. When you go into the extra options, there's some nutty fucking shit in there. To the extent where like you have like multi-button binds, start presses, mode shifts, a whole bunch of crazy stuff.
That's crazy.
To the extent where like maybe I'll post it on Twitter later. I had like basically 9 iterations of style synergy that did stuff like when you press the button, it would automatically swap to the style and then do the move input. It would do things like hold Gunslinger when you were... It would like hold the gun button when you were in Gunslinger to auto charge stuff. There was some weird mechanics with the SDT. It didn't work quite right because it was all just input stuff.
Yeah.
But I got pretty far doing that. And then I'm just going to cut a long story short. There was a lot of me fucking around with auto hotkey, which is basically the same, which was pretty much a similar thing. The only difference was I was using Mod Off Nexus mods as a base, the Dante keyboard toolkit or whatever. And that was the first thing that had actual memory editing.
Right.
Like instead of just like doing inputs, it would actually change values in the game. So I worked on that for a bit, and then eventually I was like, well, I have a auto hockey thing now, but everyone uses the cheat table.
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't do this in cheat engine, no one's going to use it. So then I bit the bullet and learned how to do shit in cheat engine, and everything kind of snowballed from there.
How long did that take for you to teach yourself how to use cheat engine?
Um, I want to say, well, it's kind of weird because it's not like I went to a point. I was like, start learning cheat engine and learning cheat engine. I kind of learn it like piecemeal. Like I learned how to use It's cheat engine is more like a fucking toolbox than a single tool.
Mm.
Like it's bought a bunch of things focused around a single concept, but they're all very different parts. There's stuff like there's stuff like scanning for memory. There's pointer scan stuff. There's structure whole blah, 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 whole bunch of techno babble.
Mm-hmm.
But I kind of learn it like one piece at a time. And like I actually had a starting point because back when I was a kid, like when I was 12 or something, I used cheat engine to actually kind of cheat in my video games a bit. Nothing fancy, like just I'd track down the money value and then I'd change it to 9,999,999,999
Yeah.
and just buy everything in a game.
Yeah.
But I had like a starting experience. And then I think the first thing I did where I was like, oh, this is like actually viable, which is probably in that highlight thing I sent you, but that's fine. Was I figured out how to force. I found something that Cyan hadn't been able to find up until that point. Pretty much by luck, I was able to find a value that you could hard lock to make Dante always do forward input moves.
Right.
So I just found the thing. I was like, I can always do Stinger now. Sick. And then that was like the first time I was like, oh, okay, I can actually figure out how to do stuff and make meaningful changes to the game using this.
And it just snowballed from there. Huh? That's crazy.
Yeah.
So where did the idea for Strive come from? Like, I know like part of it came from Guilty Gear, I think. Is that correct? I may be wrong. It came from a fighting game.
From Guilty Gear.
Right,
Okay, so Strive was originally like the concept has mutated so far that it's not even recognizable at this point. But Strive was originally Style Synergy.
Oh, fuck. Right.
Like that's how it started. That's how the initial plans for it were like laid and started out. And I think I probably have a bunch of old like just dozens of text documents written in Notepad++ that list out like move lists and ideas. And they eventually started moving away more from the Style Synergy stuff right around the time I figured out how to do Darkslayer, which was the Summon Swords. I found that by complete accident, by the way. Like, I was fucking around with changing weapon loadouts.
Yep.
And I did something that I didn't understand at the time, and I hit a button, and instead of Dante doing his Swordmaster Balrog stuff, Summon Swords just came out, and I was like, I'm sorry, what?
That's
and then
crazy,
I completely lost my shit. And then not only did I lose my shit, I then lost the setup I had that made that work for a good 2 to 3 days, and I desperately attempted to figure out how the fuck I'd done it. That was a wild time. So now, from now on, if I find something and I don't understand what I've done, I just make 5 or 6 screenshots of my entire cheat engine stuff, save them, and I'm like, I'm gonna come back for this later.
Yeah, fair enough.
After I figured out the Darkslayer stuff, it was like Style Synergy was no longer viable because I had 5 styles now, and things had to change.
Yeah.
And if you're talking more like in regards to the aesthetic thing, it was me like just kind of as a goof looking through the options that already existed in the cheat table, because there was the Dante Sin Devil Trigger only cancels option, which basically when you activate Sin Devil Trigger, you don't go into Sin Devil Trigger.
Yeah.
It just it just gives you the animation that cancels everything.
Uh-huh.
And then I looked at and then there's some speed properties in the game where you can set like the values of how fast enemies move or how fast Dante moves.
Mm-hmm.
I basically looked at them as a goof and I was like, I could probably make a Roman cancel for Dante. And then from that, Roman cancel is an input you can do in Guilty Gear that slows down time and cancels whatever bullshit you're doing.
Right.
You can use it to like extend combos and shit.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, you know what? Fuck it. That's a good enough name. That's a good enough reason to draw from the aesthetic, and that's how it ended up going.
I think the Roman cancel stuff, like, that was the kind of main thing I saw about Strive, and I was just like, nah, this isn't for me. Like, that's not for me at all. Like, seeing the changes, I was like, I don't think this is for me at all. And you saw it, like, I said it a couple times. Obviously not meaning disrespect, and obviously I knew that you'd put a lot of hard work into it, but it didn't really seem like something that I would enjoy myself doing, or playing with, but I didn't realise that Strive was modular. Like, I thought you would just hit the button and everything would be on and you can't change it.
Like, it was very clear, I think, after the first or second version, I was like, there are some salty-ass veterans in this community, and if I don't make every single part of this thing, from the tiniest move to how Dante, like, jumps, if I don't make it toggleable, everyone's going to be like, garbage mod, terrible. So, there are about... You know what? Give me a second, because I think I actually have it open.
We're a big bunch of assholes.
So, let me just read some things for you.
Okay.
No one takes damage toggle, damage mod toggle, style mod toggle, deep turbo toggle, inertial toggle, all toggle, EM toggle, PL toggle, MS toggle, Skystar toggle, snatch toggle, VFS, VSS toggle, min RG toggle, Dark Slayer style color effect toggle, technical action toggle, Cerberus action toggle, Balrog action toggle, burnout toggle, DSD round trip toggle, drive toggle, air stinger toggle, slop toggle. Do you have any idea how many integers and variables in this fucking mod are just toggles to turn individual parts on and off?
That was at least 30. Like 50. How many? 50? Did you say that?
I think.
Okay, fuck. That's ridiculous.
Every part of this fucking thing can be turned on and or off, and if it is assigned to a button, then you can assign it to a different button.
That's fucking crazy.
So get the stuff you like, because I knew it wasn't going to be for everyone. I knew the entire thing wasn't going to be for everyone, but I do think there is something in there for anyone.
100%. You know? Yeah, I think with these mods, and I think Community Edition is or was, I'm not really too sure about it, but is going to take the same approach. Yeah, but I don't know if like the direction of whatever they're doing's changed. I know they were going to go for the modular thing again, but I don't know if that's changed since the last time. I try to keep my nose out of it now because I've got a fucking big mouth and I end up opening it and people get mad at me. So
I'm gonna also shut the fuck up about it.
Yeah. But yeah, Strive, like I didn't realize it was modular. I was just watching it like, I don't fucking understand what the fuck is going on. He went into Sin Devil Trigger and time slowed down. What the fuck? But then I realised it was patterned over a fighting game and there was more to it. And then I started seeing some of the changes you made recently because I still didn't play it until very recently. Mostly because
the thing I want to be slightly salty about is that this presumably happened right when you were getting mad about the time slowing down thing. The part of the video I made directly after the Sin Devil Trigger is me showing off the menu where you can turn on and off every single option.
Listen, you should know by now that I'm a fucking idiot. Like, you could have put that in front of me, I probably would have missed it. Like,
Welcome to the...
What's up, Smoke? Sick, can you repeat that? Yeah, don't... He wants you to repeat the toggles, don't do that, we'll be here.
It's considered.
But yeah, like, once I realised it was modular, I was like, okay. Because I think one of the things I did like the idea of was Neo Balrog. I wouldn't have used it because...
Yeah.
Mostly because
Do you want to know why everyone likes that one?
Go on, tell me.
Because the original idea is from End Neo. AKA someone who actually plays the fucking game.
That explains it, yeah. And Neo is... He's the go-to guy for me when like, you want to talk about stuff related... At least related to, like, advanced parts of these games. Like, he's the guy. Unless it's, like, some niche shit he doesn't know about. Generally, he's just, like... He's got good ideas,
Then
and he's got good ideas on how the game should play, which is very useful.
I either
Um,
hit up him or Garuda usually.
Garuda, yeah, Grib, that motherfucker. Yeah. Anyway, yeah, like some of the recent changes you made, I like the just frame shot was a really cool idea. That was a fucking sick idea.
Yeah, I had very little plans for Nero for a very long time.
Mm,
I have an actual plan for a Strive release of Nero now.
mm-hmm.
It took me a long time to come up with anything for him though, because of like how like he's just got a really well-rounded kit in 5 that doesn't really have a lot of glaring issues with it, you know?
Yeah, like a lot of the issues are results of clunking. It's
Once you
not
have
actual. Yeah,
once you have Breaker Switcher enabled, he's a well-rounded character and there's no real issues with his moveset.
yeah, a lot of things that he relies on, it comes from reversals and sort of tighter frames and stuff. There's like his kit on the surface is good. Like there's not much to do with it. Yeah, I get what you mean. It's
Listen, I'm a scrub, so I'm looking at things more or less as they are stated in the skill list.
the surface. Yeah, you're looking at the surface.
Yeah.
I understand. Yeah. But even then, like it's like you said, his surface is pretty fucking cool. Like what more can you add to him? Like at the end of the day, it's just gonna be breakers. Like if the devs do anything with him, like in terms of his kit, there's not much to do it. And yet you still
There
come
is
up with.
you'll find out.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But like obviously, that's why you struggled for so long to think up of ideas, is
Yeah.
because you don't really know where the fuck to start. But now that you have done some stuff, I do like the direction, and I'm interested to see what else. Because that just frame shit was fucking nice. Hitchhiker, did you think of that all by yourself? Did someone?
Yeah, pretty much. I was thinking, it was like, so what the fuck was I thinking? I was probably thinking about how much I hate Charge Shot and want it to die forever.
Uh huh.
Because sorry, I gotta say, one of the things I added to the table was a hold to mash option. And the reason is because I hate difficulty through input
Mm-hmm.
for the most part. Like, I would just like my thoughts to directly translate to what the character is doing with as few limitations as possible. So shit like having to hold right trigger all the fucking time to get charge shot, that shit pisses me off. Having to mash gun to fire ebony and ivory at like a normal fucking rate pisses me off. And it's just stuff like that. So I was like, okay, I do like charge shot. I just wish there was a way to for that to just not be a massive time sink. And I guess I was thinking about Nero's resource management with like how Exceed works.
Uh huh.
And I was like, what if Exceed but gun?
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh, yeah. Okay.
That's pretty fucking dope. What other plans do you have for him? Do you want to say? Is that something you want to keep under wraps?
I think I don't fucking know because I've been pretty open about it on my actual dev streams,
Mm-hmm.
like what the overall plans are. I'm tempted to I'm tempted to just give everything away, but I think I'm just going to say the following: What if Nero had 2 breakers?
Say again. Your mic kind of cut out a little bit.
What if Nero had 2 breakers?
2 breakers? What equipped? Ooh, yeah. Oh, now we're talking.
And that's all I'm going to say about that.
That's fair enough. That sounds pretty sick. So how would that work? Like a combination? Like for example, you could have Gerbera and like. Is that what you mean? Like combining
That's all.
the. Okay,
That's all I'm going to say about that.
You're not gonna give me. Okay, that's fair enough. That sounds fucking interesting. That sounds dope. I like your style, Hitchhiker. I do. I appreciate your style. Some of the ideas I don't agree with, but we don't even have to toggle those because it's modular. The fucking joys of DMC modding, homie. Well, playing DMC mods. I doubt there's joys behind actually making them, but
There are. There is. If I. A lot of the reason that this mod exists is because there are points where I play 5, and they happen frequently and a lot, where I'm like, I could play 5, or I could just mod 5 instead. And modding 5 is often a lot more fun because like it's like God. It's like after you figure out like your first stuff, like your first real like edits to the game or
Mm-hmm.
like solving your first actual problem, it's just the biggest fucking rush because it's like as opposed to the video game where like the challenge is always designed to be winnable. What you're doing is not necessarily designed to be winnable. There is no guarantee that what you're trying to mod is going to work.
Yeah.
So when you do actually get it working, it's all the more satisfying for it.
Plus, when your fucking mod blows up, like what it happened with PvP, because that shit blew the fuck up, like with the retweets and stuff.
Oh god, yeah. I big shout out to me being a dumbass, not actually having my YouTube video in the tweet that blew up because I didn't
Yeah.
know you couldn't edit tweets on Twitter. It's fine.
Wait, you can edit
I
tweets?
still ended up getting.
Oh, you
You
didn't
can't
know?
edit tweets,
Ah, you didn't know you can.
and I didn't know it.
Okay, yeah.
Otherwise, that fucking YouTube video would have been in there. And instead of having 80,000 views on Twitter and 60,000 on YouTube, I would have 140,000 on YouTube.
Hey, 60,000
But
is
that's
fucking still a lot, though. That is a shit ton,
60,000
especially.
is still a lot.
Yeah. Smoke was asking, because I know you just set up a system for this, like, the other day.
Right. Yeah. There are two Google Docs. They are pinned, I think. One
Smoke in
is
this thing?
for if you have stuff for DMC4 and you want it in 5, or if you have anything from a previous DMC game,
Right, yeah.
tech or shit that you want in 5, put it in that document. And then the other one is if you just have like ideas for 5, put it in the other one.
Oh my god, someone's giggling in the background. They're laughing at the idea of Google Docs. It's understandable. Smoke, if
It's
you
fine.
yeah. What he's talking about, Smoke, is the DMC Strife channel in the Red server. I don't actually know if Smoke in there.
No, it's on. I think it just have it pinned in Twitter. I can post it in chat.
Yeah, just
Let
post a
me-
tweet. I didn't know if he was in the server or not. I don't think he is.
No, I can't. I'm not signed into Twitch. Fucking.
You want to send it to me and I'll do it?
Yeah, sure. Here you go.
Aye, baby. Yeah, like this is where you can just like fucking
Put it in there, or
Yeah.
I will probably ignore it unless it's a good idea that I can do quickly and easily.
I think you said to sort of stay away from the abstract stuff, so don't suggest like, oh, can we get like playable Trish with a new moveset? Like, don't say that shit. You know,
That's not actually. Incidentally, that's not exactly what I meant.
yeah,
It's like playable Trish is like, okay, what is playable Trish? Playable Trish is a series of moves. Those can be defined and quantified. It's still way too much effort, so I won't do it. But it's shit like people going, oh, the gravity feels too floaty. It's like, yeah, we know. Everybody knows. I don't know what you want from me because floating isn't like floaty is an emotion that is being drawn from you. It is a feeling. I can't mod a feeling.
you can make it gravity pull you down quicker, I guess, but I doubt that fixes the.
Yeah,
fucking
yeah, it's like, hey, I need the gravity to be increased by an extra 10%. It's like, yeah, that's a problem I can work on.
Okay.
So yeah, give me a problem I can solve, please.
So don't just say like, can you fix big problem?
I don't know. You're like, oh, Nero feels kind of sluggish. Fuck that shit. Give me the animation, give me the time, and give me the time it's supposed to be.
Yeah. Put all your thoughts down in that Google Doc. Don't be a dick and just. I don't know if there's like a verification process that you do.
There is a verification process.
Okay.
If you try stupid shit, I will just ignore it.
Yeah. Okay. Good. So what about what about V? You got any big plans for the best character of DMC5?
Ha, see, you're talking ironically. I am so fucking excited to work on V, man. You don't even know.
Really? You got
Like
some big
in terms
ideas?
of like modding, that is the character that lends itself to being modded more than anything else.
Really?
Because everything with Dante and Nero is shit like they've got animations, they've got movesets and shit. All of V's stuff is like he's controlling 2 summons independently.
Mm-hmm.
Which means that the amount of I like to think of like what I do in terms of like most of the value I managed to get out of creating the mods is that's like more interesting than just what was already in the table was conceptual systems. And by that I mean like there was a cheat in the game that made the enemies go slower. There was a cheat in the game that made Dante only do the SDT cancel. And I took those two things and then I tied them into a system that I basically created myself, where the sin meter would be tied to your sin meter gain was like tied to your style ranking. And you could spend portions of the meter to get different kinds of effects, including full sin devil trigger and a whole bunch of in between stuff. And it's like, all that's really going on is I'm turning those two cheats on and off in specific ways. But because you can like create a system around it, you can like completely change how it feels. Same thing with the Neo Balrog. I haven't changed Balrog's moveset at all. It doesn't have anything new.
Yeah.
But it's the way it works conceptually. And so for V, where you have two independently controlled summons, the amount of shit that can be done, the amount of, like, because all V really needs, like, he doesn't need extra moves or any of that bullshit. All he needs is more control and more ways to utilize the summons. And that is something I can fucking work on.
I agree with that, yeah. Like, a big problem is the lack of control. MDMA pill? No, sorry, I had to take an antibiotic. I was 12 minutes late. So, sorry about that. Fucking pain in the ass, having to remind yourself. Anyway, that's pie in the sky.
So, yeah, I'm super excited for V. And at the end of the first Strive video, there is a teaser right at the end that has, like, some V shit. And I haven't been able to work on it because shit's just kept coming up one after another. It was like, there was supposed to be an intermediate update, then the update got way too big, then I figured out PvP, and then fucking Special Edition, and then I had the idea for Nero, and then fucking Special Edition was announced. And here we are.
I suppose we better talk about Special Edition then, since the topic's there.
Oh, Christ.
Yeah, so what were your initial sort of thoughts? Are you excited, or are you, like...
Yo, unironically, can you just give me a fucking minute? I'm gonna be like, I will be back with you in 30 seconds, and I will collect my thoughts and tell you some shit about that.
Of course, mate, of course. Listen, Ty, I'm not going to create a super bacteria, okay? I am the super bacteria, okay? How about that? Fuck Capcom. Honestly, like, Capcom fucking infuriate me, honestly. The amount of fucking hemorrhoids that Capcom have given me, it's, like, ridiculous. Like, I can't even fucking... I'm not even going to say that, it's disgusting. But, regardless, like... No turbo for PC. We were there day one, baby. Go Studio X. Listen, shoutouts to Studio. I was gonna say XV, but it's 15. Shoutouts to Studio 15 / Skyart. When Astoria Legends comes out, make sure you buy that shit. And make sure you play the remixed boss so that you can hear my music in there, because that's fun. It's okay, I'm new Capcom. No, you don't want to be new Capcom. You don't want to be anything Capcom. When's Marvel? Shy guy, come on. You know when Marvel is. I'm gonna get bugged for V stuff and Garuda. Unlucky John, have fun. Good luck. You only get Millz track on hardest mod. That's because I go hard, homie. I go hard, and I never go home. How about that, huh? Well, it looks as if there'll be no story for Virgil. Yep, it's just gonna be the same old, same as fucking, same as 2006. A cutscene at the start, a cutscene at the end, and you're playing the whole campaign again. Woo!
Your game? I think I know what it is. I just want to make sure.
Say again, your mic cut out.
Can you post a link to your game? Because I'm pretty sure I know what it is. I just want to make sure it's what I'm thinking of.
Send the link. Send the link to the Astoria Sky in the chat so that HitchHiker can see. I'm pretty sure.
You definitely won't be ordered by a bot or anything. That'd be crazy. Anyway.
Yeah.
Virgil. Fucking Virgil. Okay. So, back, I went from being very excited to very not excited to now I'm like kind of medium excited. So first of all, I'm not even gonna front. I am a casual fan. When I saw the Virgil shit, I popped off. Like, It just is what it is. Uh, but anyway, I'll look at this in a second. Yeah, got big excited for Virgil for a couple of reasons. So one of the main thing they showed off that's technically new is the V shit. And it's kind of funny actually because while I was working on PvP due to some reasons, I ended up coming up with an idea that I was working on implementing, in which this was back with shit playable Virgil when he has like nothing going on other than the Yamato or the summon swords and no extra weapons and shit. Right? So I was trying to think of something that could be done to give him variety. And I came up with the idea that using D-pad and like style and a bunch of other shit, I could theoretically give him access to Shadow and Griffin independently.
Mm-hmm.
So he could use these summons along with the Yamato and shit.
Yeah.
And then when the special edition trailer happens and I see Virgil transform into V, I'm like, motherfuckers, they had the same idea. Except now I'm not, and I was mainly happy with that because I was like, sick. That's a cool gameplay concept. And now I'm like, and then people pointed out the obvious, which is that, yeah, that animation is probably not turning into V. That's probably just you turn into him for a super and then you're done.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Like, well, fuck. But outside of that, like, particular thing, I went from being very excited to being very unexcited, mainly upon noticing shit like, okay, that's probably just a super move, to I'm really not seeing any Beowulf or Force Edge in this thing.
Yeah.
And then like a bunch of other stuff that I was like, I was fairly certain this was just going to be the moveset that already existed in playable Virgil, with Doppelganger added on top and that unused V super stapled on.
Yeah.
But then, ironically enough, the 10 fucking seconds of bullshit gameplay footage we got did give me a bit of hope in the sense of there was at least one new move.
Yeah.
Which there was a development budget. There was a budget for developing Virgil.
I love how the fucking the fucking bar is like a new animation and it's like, there's hope. They made at least one new animation, boys.
There was money spent. At least $1 was spent. And then the other thing, of course, was fucking Matt Walker, tricky bastard, tweeting that they weren't going to show any of Virgil's weapons in detail.
I'm still cautious about that though, because like for some reason I've got a feeling he just means summon swords and the fucking doppelganger. If there's legit weapons that you can weapon switch to, I will stand back. I'll put my hands up and I'll say, I was wrong.
If it's Virgil and Beowulf, if it's a fucking Force Edge and Beowulf in or variations thereof, that's fine.
I'll be happy with
everything else. I want two things. One is from like a casual perspective. The other is from my modding perspective. From a casual perspective, I just want I want the extra 2 weapons because he needs something going on. From a modding perspective, I'm very much hoping that super he does where he brings out Shadow, Griffin, and Nightmare is using the actual entities that V typically uses as opposed to like some pre-done effects.
Yep.
Because if it's using actual entities, oh boy, can we have some fun.
You thinking about controlling them while the...
Yeah. And then ideally perhaps being able to control them outside of the super move, maybe? Anyway.
Fuck, imagine that. Doppelganger and trying to control Virgil at the same time. Shit would be exhausting.
Shadow, Griffin, Nightmare, Doppelganger, Virgil. Just control 5 characters at the same time. You can keep up.
Fucking struggle to control 1, never mind fucking 5.
But yeah, we'll see. Overall, I'm feeling better about it. Because it looks like there was at least some thought put in.
I think the price tag really puts me off though, like $5 really. What's the fucking catch here?
This is fuck.
Yeah.
But we do need to also consider that this was being developed in conjunction with Special Edition.
Yeah, that's true.
Special Edition is priced at $50, and even though these are like independently sold products, they are it is highly possible that Capcom is basically trying to sell Virgil DLC at a loss to rake in the good boy points in the hopes that the special edition sales will basically subsidize the rest of it, you know?
I just don't get why they wouldn't make a PC port in that case. Like, you're gonna make so much more money. Like, with a PC
I
port.
suspect an exclusivity detail
Yeah.
or rather the continuation of an exclusivity deal. I think it is whatever agreement they had with Microsoft where they got the demo first and they had to talk about how good the game looked on Xbox One. I suspect that has that agreement has continued into Xbox Series X.
Yeah.
And I
Although,
think that's why it's not coming to PC.
thing is,
It just seems in my head.
like I honestly, like, I'm so over the whole special edition shit. I wish that
Yeah,
everything, yeah,
it shouldn't exist.
like the
It shouldn't
DLC,
exist.
yeah, the DLC way, like the way Virgil's been added to DMC5 Vanilla is so much better than a special edition. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
buy this.
ironically, it's very nice. You know what I want? Have you Mills? Question for you.
Yeah,
Do you know what the best fucking DLC of all time is?
the best DLC of all time.
Yep.
Okay, well, I know what mine's would be, but obviously it's going to be different from what you're thinking. So tell me, is it not horse armor? Surely.
No,
Tell
it
me.
is XCOM Enemy Within,
Uh huh.
which was
Enemy
a thirty
unknown.
dollar. Which yeah, it was a $30 DLC for XCOM Enemy Unknown.
Is that the second or the
Added
first one? I can't remember. Yeah, I think I played that. Yeah, it was like an expansion,
so
wasn't it?
it was $30. It added two new very unique classes with their own systems. It added a bunch of new enemies. It added a bunch of new maps. It added a new enemy faction. It added a new highly requested mission type. And yeah, I think that's about it. I think it also added some more cosmetic stuff. And all of that together cost $30 and was put on the and added to the base game. Basically it was like getting an it felt like you were buying one half of an extra video game to plug in.
Yeah.
And it felt nice. And that is what I would want for
Mm-hmm.
like Devil May Cry 5.
Yeah.
Like your stupid bullshit image that you created a while back on Twitter that everyone laughs at.
The big fucking super unrealistic wish list that people took serious. Well, not.
Uh-huh. Yeah,
Yeah.
divide the amount of content by that in like half, price it at $30 and make it a DLC for Devil May Cry 5. That's pretty much what I would have wanted from a special edition.
Yeah. And instead you get mirror reflections, fucking more enemies. What else? There's something else.
Ugh.
Turbo mode. Something that PC had day one.
I like how I like this I get the fucking announcements like Legendary Dark Knight not coming to PC. It's like I guess I'm making a Legendary Dark Knight mod now.
You know the fucking Thanos thing where he's like, I'll do it myself. That's you fucking pulling open cheat engine, homie, or whatever. Just like, okay, you're not gonna bring
This
it to
isn't even
PC.
engine. It's like this is just editing the fucking enemy files. It's not even that hard.
That's crazy, yeah. But the thing
Anyway.
is you need to test like every single possible fucking location now to do that shit. Like that's gonna take you forever, homie, to do that. You're gonna have to test every combat encounter.
We're done with mission 1, mission 3, mission 5. I think Penguin's finished up mission 2 and he's working on mission 4.
Right.
We're getting there.
Oh, don't get me wrong, it's fucking fantastic
Main thing
process.
is main thing is just I'm hoping the game figuring out how to resolve the one or two issues with crashing
I saw
because
something
they
the
don't
other
happen
day.
frequently, but when they do, it's a problem.
But DMC5 fucking crashes for no fucking reason anyway. That shit would happen in vanilla. Like, I wouldn't stress too much over inconsistent crashes, but if there's something like causing inconsistent crashes.
It's consistent in one or two places, and those are the ones I'm concerned
Right,
about.
okay, yeah, then definitely gonna have to iron those out. I saw something to do with the cameo mode fucking.
Oh,
fucking
we thought that might have that. I don't know if it has something to do with that. All I know is that when we did it with co-op without a cameo shit going on in the background, fucking Penguin's frame rate basically doubled. It doesn't have anything to do with the crash, I don't think, but I do find it funny as fuck that resulted in performance increase.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. Still no divergence mode for special edition. That's another thing that's so obvious and just
yeah, that's just fucking bizarre, like outright. There's no reason for that.
yeah. Virgil gets every mission, and the
Virgil
fucking
does get every mission, and that's the fucking funny bit. They did this for Special Edition too, for like equally dumb reasons.
yeah, like DMC4 is the same. Yeah,
I think it's legitimately they don't want any character other than Nero playing a mission with Grim Grips, which is the stupidest fucking reason ever I can think of. But it also explains why Lady takes the first half of DMC for SE's campaign. It's because Kalina Ann has that grappling hook.
there's this real simple way to fucking solve this, and it's just don't put fucking stupid ass Grim Grips in the game. Like, who the fuck? Ah, okay, it slowed me down for 10 seconds. I had to press a button. Wow, that was fucking fascinating. I suppose DMC4 has the puzzles, but like, who enjoys doing that either? Like the torture room.
5 has only one good utilization of Grim Grips, and even then it's a pain in the ass. It's the fucking there's that one secret mission.
Fuck knows, I didn't play them, to be honest. I don't.
Yeah, there's one where you have like it's like 200 feet to the gold orb. There's a bunch of Grim Grips, and it's like, okay,
yeah.
fucker, never.
Yeah, I did that one. Yeah, took me a few tries. It was pretty fun, to be fair.
I'm not certain that can be cheesed with punchline if you do it correctly.
Oh yeah, probably. Um, but yeah, Virgil 5 Virgil. Like if it's just literally Yamato with some new moves and stuff, it's like
There either needs to be the old. It either needs to be the old stuff, or there better be some good new shit to make up for it.
yeah, like Doppelganger doesn't exactly wow me or blow me off my feet or anything. To be honest,
Gee, because it's in the base game already in the boss fight.
like even excluding that, like Doppelganger in general, like when was the last time you used Doppelganger in DMC3? Like I never.
I believe I got this time,
I don't think I've ever used
and
it.
then I walked to the Golden Idol, and I swapped back to Swordmaster.
Yeah, like DMC fucking what is it? DMC reboot. I don't think I ever really used it with Virgil. If I did, it was probably just to get extra damage. Like I don't know. It's just Doppelganger. Doppelganger just doesn't. Just doesn't. It's just
Do
not.
anything?
It's just not it. It's just not it. Okay. It's just there's so much better things you could do. Okay?
Yeah, it's kind of very random. I'm honestly hoping that if there are weapon switches, so my understanding of Doppelganger, limited as it is that by changing weapons, you can cause some like the Doppelganger doesn't change the weapon, so you can do some interesting shit. So I'm hoping that with Beowulf and Force Edge, as opposed to whatever the fuck he had in Reboot, that there's actually some use for Doppelganger. But again, I don't particularly care.
In reboot, he only had Yamato, but he had like he could switch moves. For example, he could switch to like Angel, kind of like Balrog. He could switch to like Angel stance, for lack of a better term, and do like moves.
Interesting.
And those like you had to do like Angel moves to damage Angel enemies and stuff. That shit was fucking stupid. But yeah, like Doppelganger mode. The fact that Yamato has new moves, and I don't know, I just don't think
There's enough that it might theoretically be good. But if we assume that they have exactly what they've shown and nothing else, then fucking hell.
Can we talk about how much a disappointment it is that the Virgil Devil Trigger design from the concept art just didn't make it in? Like that shit was so cool.
Yeah, that I think that was also the main thing that discouraged me. The fact that we are not seeing even an attempt at a normal Devil Trigger for Virgil is like, what's going on? But then again, Sin Devil Trigger for Virgil was always stupid and never made any sense anyway, so whatever.
I think it's because he ate the fruit, isn't it? He unlocked his fucking power.
Yeah, but like fucking Dante got it because it's if we're going to just go off of gameplay and talk about actual story themes and shit, Dante has the fucking eternal war within himself. It's like, am I comfortable with being a demon? Am I really human? Yada 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 yada. And he comes to the conclusion inevitably that he needs to embrace his demonic side without rejecting his humanity and keep the two together. And Sin Devil Trigger is like the thesis of that when he like stabs himself with the rebellion and combines rebellion, which is like his human thing, and Sparta, which is like the devil thing, and then they become the Devil Sword Dante, and he gets the big Sin Devil Trigger.
I mean, technically that
it's supposed to be the proof that Dante's ideology is correct over Virgil. which is why the fight in Mission 17 is such a one-sided curb stomp, if you know what you're doing.
Mm-hmm.
And then, even like for an inexperienced player, if you just stay in the air and you use Sin Devil Trigger, it's a joke of a fight. On Devil Hunter, at least. But yeah, and then Virgil getting fucking Sin Devil Trigger midway through the fight is like, it's cool, but it also just fucks with the thematic stuff.
I took it as like a power thing where like Dante combined Rebellion and fucking Sparta, and it gave him a power boost. Fucking like Virgil combined his human self and his demon self, the demon self which had taken the fruit, which was something that
I guess that's reasonable. I suppose he is literally recombining his human and devil self
yeah.
as well. So
And
that's fair.
That devil side being juiced up by fucking the demon fruit. Because you get the demon fruit juiced up Urizen, and then his human side recombines with it, and obviously the human side's the side that makes them so powerful, isn't it?
Yeah, we're assuming it works off Super Saiyan rules.
So like I took it like because they combined his human side, it like fucking he became like ultra juiced because of the fruit, and he got like his Sin Devil Trigger. But they should have still. I would have gladly, or I would have like imagine how hype it would have been if he was like right. Okay, he devil triggers. This is normal devil trigger.
And then he does it again.
Yeah, and he's like, right,
And
okay.
one for it to happen in the fight where he pulls out the doppelganger. That should be him going Sin Devil Trigger instead.
Yeah, he's just like, right, is that how it's gonna be, motherfucker? Right, let's fucking go then. Let's dance, and he just activates.
Yeah.
And like, I would have just preferred that over like, we're gonna do the reboot, but we're gonna make it cool because we're the original series. Like, fuck off. Cunts.
That's fine. It's not like bad outright.
It's not bad, but it's just lacks imagination.
Yo, could you imagine how rad it would have been if instead of like activating Sin Devil Trigger, he's just like, all right, fucker, and then switches to Beowulf?
Yeah, like I found this lying around.
You have a superpower? Here, I'm gonna punch you.
Unironically, would have been hyped to feel like just like you remember Sam from Metal Gear Rising, how he loses his sword and he fucking
the bit where you take the sword out of his fucking hand and he just turns around. He's like, "All right, square up, fucker."
he's just like, okay, it's okay. I don't need one. You fucking he like
I'm gonna kick the shit out of you.
and he's
And
harder.
then
He's harder without the sword, homie. He can like parry you and shit. That's crazy.
Big shout outs to the next part in the Armstrong boss fight where the same thing happens to you.
Yeah, only it doesn't work out so well for you. You can beat him though. You can like drain all his health with the fisticuffs. It just takes a while.
Yeah, I just think that's a nice little thematic.
Oh, for sure.
Whatever.
For sure. The fact that they put in a whole new moveset just for that one part, Capcom, take notes.
Yep. Show me a good time, Jack. Fuck. I'm sorry. We need to stop, or I'm just gonna keep talking about how Jetstream Sam is so fucking cool.
We can talk about that, homie. I'm like the biggest fucking MGR nerd in the fucking planet, homie. We can do that. I made an advanced tutorial. Like, that's how fucking stupid I am when it comes to MGR. Like, who the fuck cares? But, listen, that game's fucking incredible. I don't think I'll...
Raiden tossed the giant robot into the air, and then he ran up the side of it, and then he cut it in half, and I think that's pretty neat.
It was like... It was love at first sight. Like, that game will never get old for me. I could play that game from now till the day I die, and I don't think I would get sick of it. It has so much fucking cool shit. It's just cool. It's not like it's the most technically advanced or whatever.
Game I played.
MGR Strive, C-Flan, I've been trying to get on at him, but he's his
I have
time's...
so many things, you guys. Like, you don't even fucking know. I've got Strive, I've got the LDK thing, I'm working on Community Edition. Yeah, it's just, there's a lot going on.
MGR is the gateway drug. That's how I got into the hack and slash games. Like, I never started with DMC, I started with MGR, and it just fucking snowballed from there. Here I am, talking about the fucking shit. But yeah, MGR is incredible. Like, you're not going to get the most in-depth. Don't get me wrong, there is a lot of cool shit you can do that not a lot of people know about. But the game isn't super mechanically in-depth. It's just a good fucking time.
The game had enough that I remember I played through it a second time, and I looked at the move list at some point because I wanted to know more. And I think that's all a character action game really has to do.
Yeah. Plus the
Give
character...
you something to learn, no matter how simple it is.
Plus the character DLCs are free, like Sam and Wolf. So,
Yeah.
I mean, Wolf.
I I could never figure out Sam, but all of the good gameplay footage I've seen of him, I'm like, dude, he looks so fucking cool. He
He
looks cooler than he does in his boss.
he plays closer to a DMC character than Raiden does because like Raiden, his light attacks they're all semi-random, whereas like Sam has like his animations are consistent every single time. So he plays
Sam plays like a DMC character, Raiden plays like a Bayonetta character.
pretty much, yeah. Like that's almost exactly what I would say. Yeah. Um, in retrospect, I really don't like MJR much. Alright, is there a mod in the chat? Because we really need to get Destiny Spider out of here because he's spreading slander. No, I'm joking, but for Metal Gear Rising, then you need to humor me a little, Hitch. What would you change if there was a theoretical MGR strive?
Honestly, that's the thing. It's been so long since I've played it, and I had a good time with it. I would have to play until I got upset with it, or I was like, "Damn, I wish I could do X, Y, or Z." Your idea about like the sub weapons swapping on the fly is definitely good. Enemy
Yeah.
step, I mean, fuck it. I have two categories of things I add to the game to DMC5 currently. One is stuff I'm really excited about, and the other part is veteran members go, "Hey, can you add this?" And I'm like, "I guess."
Yeah.
So so that one kind of falls under the second category for me. But as for anything else, I'd have to see. I just have to see what was in the game.
Yeah. I mean, there's some ideas I could give you, but like weapon switching, some form of enemy step that you can reset your jump. Cause
Yeah.
like that's enough for me. Like I don't really need anything else. Anything else on top of that is gonna be some cool shit I can fuck around with. But those are the two main things. I think there was something else, like not inertia. Like that's I was joking when I said that. Like I don't fucking like that. Like the MGR doesn't need that shit.
If the game doesn't have inertia to begin with, then like, oh god, I am not coding inertia from scratch. That would be
Yeah.
a nightmare.
Like the MC5 at least had some for you to work with, but you just couldn't.
All right, I'm gonna need to take another quick break because bladder's small. That's
Yeah.
just how it be.
I'm holding mine in, but I think I can make it, so don't worry. I'll bite the bullet. I'll entertain the chat. You go piss your pants, HitchHiker. Don't worry, we're waiting on you. As it stands, Sam got a fleshed out moveset, but it's really small. Yeah, it's really small. There's still like a lot of stuff you can do with him. A lot of stuff with Sam comes from juggling enemies against walls at a higher level. But in general, like he's cool. I really need to get on my fucking like I need to finish my. Can I like pull this up real quick? Hold on. In fact, you know what I'll do? I'll do a bit of this. What is showing right now? Okay. Like I really need to finish this shit, homie. I've got like an MGR combo mod just like waiting. Hold on, VODs. It just needs like a couple more clips. Where the fuck am I looking here? Vids MGR. Let's see. What do we have here? Can you get out the fucking way? This is before I knew replay buffer existed, so the video's 20 minutes long. Okay, we can ignore that. Get out of here, man. I think a lot of these clips were pretty basic too. Like, some of them were ideas, some of them were... Yeah, like that was totally scuffed. Yeah, that's a reset. But like... God, I really fucking wish I knew about replay buffer back then. Hold on, there was a really cool combo. Let me see if I can find it. Yeah, it's this one. But I'm gonna have to skip. Please work. Why is it if you like skip into a video it just like shits the bed? Like why is that? There's nothing I can do here. Okay, you know what? You know what I'll do just for you chumps? We'll drag it into a video editor.
Alright, back once more.
I'm just
Sorry about that.
I'm just showing them like a quick combo since you were taking a toilet break. I'll fully commit and then we can go back and
Yep.
do some shit.
Knock yourself out. I am legit sorry about this. I have to take I don't know what it is. I just have to take like hourly breaks. It's unfortunate.
I have a weak
I think
water
it's because I
skill,
just
homie.
drink water and overcompensate.
Yeah, like you see, like, and fun fact, I don't know if that was I don't know if you can I don't know if that was actually visible. But basically, like this whole video, like this was like back in June 2019. So like MGR was actually the first game that I started doing environmental combos in like that. Like it was actually it was the original eco style for me, or the original Metropolis Lights for me, and then like I didn't finish it and just went to DMC instead. But I can finish that. I'll get to that at some point. Um, but I'm like HitchHiker. I've got too much shit to do right now. A lot of it being music related.
Yeah, I actually really like some of the stuff you've been putting out. With the that Burial of Light remix was sick.
Oh, thanks, man. Like it's one of those ones that was like everything went smoothly, everything went quickly, like it was done in 13 hours, and now I look at it and listen to it, like, how the fuck did I do that? Like, I cannot replicate my success here whatsoever, to the point
Yeah,
where
it's
it's
been
just,
nice when a project just goes well.
yeah. Like, I wasn't happy with Ultraviolet, but I was never going to finish it. It was, like, good enough, but I never would have finished it if I just kept it in the pipeline, so it's whatever. I wanted to move on to bigger, better things. I'm doing a remix of Voltaic Black Knight right now, the Cavalier theme.
Mm, yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, the preview I put up in Twitter was pretty shit. In hindsight, like it's so much better now. I was gonna get my preview, but fuck it, we should get back to the meat. So
Mm.
so I guess I mean that pretty much covers it. You want to watch the we can do that. We can watch the video you sent just to
Oh
wrap
yeah,
up.
I got a quick highlight of bullshit, and then I guess if anybody has other questions, I can try to answer those. Maybe
Pretty
I don't
much.
know.
I've still got one thing I do want to. Well, I was going to talk about Community Edition, but it's probably better if we don't. Just
Uh, yeah, I'd feel the current scenario is that I'm working on Community Edition, and other than that, go talk to Garuda
yeah,
because I am not comfortable stepping out of line, as it were.
yeah. I'm pretty sure like I'm in the last fucking. I'm pretty sure Gruda's giving me like the last chance in his head. He's like, "You step out of line again, motherfucker. You say some dumb shit. I'm gonna smoke you, you Scottish pussy." So it's like, okay, fair enough. I'm just gonna keep my mouth shut. That was the
What do you
question
mean,
though. I was gonna ask if
what do
because
you mean you told Mills about the PvP? What do you mean you told Mills about the PvP? What have you done?
you told the biggest fucking mouth in the community about the biggest fucking thing you're keeping a secret. That was a mistake.
Oh boy.
I actually done
Anyway,
well, man. I kept my mouth shut, Hitch. I did. I
you did it. You did it. I'm proud of you. Congrats.
um, but yeah, I'm just like it's got to the point where it feels like I'm sort of encroaching on them and like becoming a pain, like a genuine pain in the ass. So I'm just like, I'm just gonna be a good little boy and shut the fuck up. I'm excited for it though. Like I'm hyped for it, and it's the question I was gonna ask was if you were involved in any way. So that's sick that you are, homie.
The answer is yes. I've been tagged in to help with some development.
Cool.
Have no design chops on this whatsoever. I'm just doing the programming.
Yeah.
So everybody unpanic.
Is that
It's fine.
it won't be. I was going to say, is that something that will get put into the collab table? But I think it's going to be an in-game thing, the same as DMC4 Hook, isn't it? Yeah, I think it is. Okay, enough said.
Yeah, it's no. I think that's commonly known. It is different from the cheat table. It's like I guess it's kind of like the cheat table 2.0 or whatever. So
Mm,
it'll definitely be different. It won't be using cheat engine. The Deep is using his actual software stuff to I think do something similar to DMC4 Hook, but
yeah.
I haven't really looked at DMC4 Hook, so I can't tell you anything else.
Is that something
That's
you would like aspire to do? Is put your shit in game the way that Deep has with Community Edition, or is that like you just happy with the
Yeah,
collab table?
no, I'm not gonna lie. It is tempting. The reason it's not right now is that iteration with cheat engine, at least from a edit modding perspective, is very simple and easy. There's like minimal work I need to. There's like just to make changes. I can be quick and rapid. But if I get to the point where I am happy with all four characters in the game, Dante, Nero, V, Virgil,
Yep.
and I get PvP to a slightly better position. Which,
Yep.
by the way, do we want to talk about that?
Do we want to talk about PvP?
Yeah, in regards specifically to the stuff we've
I,
previously discussed.
I think like so from my experience with PvP, like when I was playing it with the streamer or on stream rather when I was playing it the other day, it was my first time. I enjoyed
Yeah.
it. It's really fun. I don't think it lends itself to a purely tournament environment to the point where people are going to compete for stuff. I think maybe
Yeah.
the better idea would be to do like an exhibition tournament, you know what I mean? Where we just get 8 players, 8 good players, and we put them in like a bracket. And then
That's
like
a cool shout.
if that like works out well and it's fun, then we can look at doing it for like we can look at
Yeah.
doing proper ones, you know what I mean?
I know that a proper version right now is currently not viable. Yeah, I think doing an exhibition would be like a good idea because then not only is like, hey, that can look fun. The other thing is I can then look through that and that will give me like actual
Yeah.
feedback and ideas about things to potentially change. So like one of the main things I noticed when you were doing your PvP stream was you guys basically implemented a soft no gun rule because they were too busted,
Yeah,
right?
too strong, yeah.
So the thing that I did pretty much immediately after that was I figured out how to code, and you probably saw it on Twitter. I coded some bullet delay,
Yep.
which basically just it makes all the fast moving projectiles, which would be ebony and ivory, coyote, and blue rose. It makes all their bullets just go slower, not by much. It just means there's like maybe a second to half a second of delay between them firing and it hitting you, but it gives you enough time to either table hopper or trickster dodge out of the way, or
Yep.
royal guard if you're a god.
Yep.
And yeah, so stuff like that. If I come up with more ideas like that after looking at the exhibition stuff, then hopefully we can get to something a little more reasonable.
I actually found the most op attack with gunshots was the honeycomb shot. You know the one where he like it's back forward gunslinger and he like
It's very good. It juggles,
yeah juggles.
but it also has a solid second of startup, and that's going to be on top of the bullet delay. So if you're getting hit with that, fuck around and find out.
Fuck around and find out. Okay, fair enough. Yeah, like I think we shouldn't jump into something competitive yet.
Yeah, no. I just
Like-
I want to get a feel for this, and I have one other idea for potentially making it more competitive or viable.
Mm-hmm.
But I would for sure need to spend some more time working on it. However, if that happens, then potentially, and with a lot more balance changes, something competitive could be created.
Yeah.
But that'll have to be for later.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anywho, suppose we will move on to this highlight reel. How do you want to do this? You want to just let it play and then we can go back and look at it?
Do the fucking play once and then we'll go back through it. Also, if you I think it's OBS full screen project and then you just screen share that, I can probably watch them the same time without shit being fucked.
Share screen. Is that working? Is that good?
Well, I'm staring at. Oh, hang on. Here we go. Yep, that works fine. Thank you.
You can see the pod box.
That will
You can actually see my whole setup there. It's pretty messy. Like I have
That
like,
is.
like I have finished.
How to up your OBS settings?
I'm so fucking lazy, Hitch. You have no idea. I'm the laziest fucker on the planet. Right. Okay, I guess we'll play then. You can explain what's going on here. Like, we'll just go.
Yeah,
back.
sure. So we're gonna run through stuff quickly, but this is basically just like a slow progression of shit from beginning to end. There's like a whole bunch of stuff going on, and I guess This is too fast for me to talk about, so we're gonna have to back up through it. But
Let me go
also, it's
back.
too long. Terrible mistake. Can you go back to the beginning?
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah,
You're just gonna have to pause. You're just gonna have to pause when I say. We can't do it all at one run,
Yeah.
or it's gonna make no sense. Anyway, so this first thing I'm doing right here was my Steam controller setup. Actually, if you look at the keyboard presses, you can see that all if you look at the keyboard presses, you can actually see that basically I'm hitting left trigger with my controller, and it's just hitting Q a bunch. It's hitting it like 6 or 7 times, and it's enough to cycle back to the previous weapon.
Okay.
That is like back when I was doing the Steam controller stuff. The next thing after that I found was this. This is basically the thing I mentioned earlier, where I just found the do stinger now.
Right. Okay.
Do it always when I'm locked on. You can see that the direction stick isn't being touched, and he's just always stingering.
Okay. Yeah. I see.
Yeah. And then we've got a different version there where I figured out how to lock the summon sword stuff. And then shortly after that, I found this. And this was oh, wait, what? So you can see it's jank as fuck. Dante's just repeating the first hit of combo A over and over again without actually it extending correctly.
Mm-hmm.
But eventually I managed to work out and I think I could only do one move. But eventually I worked out all the issues with it. And you can see here I have it working as I cycle through the different weapons, as I go up into the air. And yeah, this is actually the first thing that I did with changing the DSD's moveset. As you can see right here, the solution was literally, back up again. The solution was literally, because I wanted an instant prop shredder on Swordmaster, and the solution was literally just change the sword to Rebellion when that happens.
Fucking hell.
You can see it
Yeah.
there. And then here this is actually a fun idea I want to come back to. The idea was that when you tossed out what the fuck is it called? Round trip with the DSD, the swords would split back into their individual components.
Oh, I see. That's actually pretty cool. That's pretty creative for me. I'm not gonna lie. It was
cool. Based off it was kind of like completely incidental, but it was based off this. I kind of like retroactively based it off a one comic I'd seen. As you've probably seen it at some point. So it was just some stupid comic where Dante splits the swords in half. But I like the idea, so.
That's pretty cool, yeah.
But then here we have like the more refined version where it actually everything started working correctly. I figured out how to make the weapons look correct. You can see he's doing all of the moves and toss-outs correctly. He's doing the dance macabre shit.
It'd be cool if there was like some way to add an effect to that where it's like the DSD glows like enough to like sort of mask its change between DSD and Sparta.
It'd be nice, but kind of. I do want to look back into that cosmetic idea of them splitting into the swords, but I also kind of want to make Rebellion, Sparta, and DSD all work different. At a future point, I want to make them so they all have distinct movesets and they aren't just carbon clones of each other.
That would be great, actually, yeah. That actually brings up something that like I wanted to ask you about. I know it's a very abstract thing.
Oh, yeah?
I don't expect it to be realistic, but how viable would it be to, like, for example, I don't want to say copy and paste, but, you know, clone a weapon slot, for example? You know, the weapon selection screen? Like, if there was some way to, like, okay, Balrog, like, copy and paste, etc. It's going to be a lot more complex than that. So that you have another Balrog in your weapon select that you can do unique things to, and keep the original Balrog.
So the current scenario, if you go look at the fucking collab table currently, there is a thing in Dante loadout where you can assign multiple swords to the loadout.
Yeah.
And including copies of the same sword, if that is what you want to do.
Yeah.
So based off that, you probably couldn't do it through the actual menus of the game itself, but if I created some custom, if I did a bunch of back-end coding and then created custom art for a weapon, it probably wouldn't show in game, but in theory, yeah, you could do something like that.
Because I feel like, obviously, I don't think Capcom are ever going to add new weapons and shit to Dante.
My question, this is the more viable thing, and this is the thing I'm much more interested in. So if Virgil has multiple weapons, I'm going to be very curious as to how much of the code for weapon switching Virgil has is shared with Dante. Because if I can just, casually drop Yamato into Dante's move list, that would be nice.
To get an actual Darkslayer mode. You're gonna have to rename it, like...
Not even, it'd be more busted, because it would be, the proper Yamato.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Anywho.
I do miss that. Good stuff. But yeah, carry on.
So there goes the dream of having like Balrog and Beowulf in the same fucking loadout. Thanks, Hitch. Thanks for just dropping a fucking fat load on me there. Love you, homie.
If I ever come up with a Beowulf design, we'll see.
Oh, probably.
And here, okay, so this is this part right here is after I started. Oh Christ, what the hell is going on? Is it just legitimately that artifacted? Like that can't be right, can it? I know I sent something higher res than that. I can like not see for shit with the Windows thing right now. Can you back up a bit?
Really?
Back up to the older, just back up to the older stuff so I know I'm not. Yeah, no, hang on. Something's fucked and I can't see. Yeah, I can't actually properly. It's weird. I can see like the pod box, I guess, but I can't properly see your shit through it. Hang on. Let me try something. I'm gonna disappear for a second. Okay. Can you still hear me?
Yep.
Okay, share screen again.
Did you
Let's
change?
see if I can't
Hold on.
hopefully this will be a little better. And yeah. All right, let's see here. That should hopefully be nicer. Yeah, that's better. Okay, I can see shit now. Cool. Don't know what that was about. Okay, so this shit right here is basically, this was when I figured out proper animation swapping, and this is basically the design process I went through for the DSD's Combo C. So you can see here, I started out with like some ideas of like you do da da, and then the last hit of Dance Macabre. So that was what I was working on for a bit, and then further afterwards, we've got I've added now like the one of the drive hits to it, which I still think looks very cool, but I ended up not being what was the final version.
Yeah.
So go a little bit further. I think we've got the next version, which is a little goofy, but you can see he basically does what it is it's the last two hits of Dance Macabre in reverse order. So he does the hit from 2, and then he does the hit from 1.
What's that little hop he does?
So what's going on there is that this is basically, it's swapped over the prop shredder animation, which has 3 parts. The start, the middle, and the end. And basically that hop right there is the start animation, but I didn't know what to do with it. So I think it's just it's trying to do the same part of drive over and over. So if you look at the next version, you can actually see there that I've swapped it out for the start of the stinger animation. You see that moment where there's like a line of black that goes across the thing?
Yeah, I see it, yeah.
So that's Dante doing the stinger animation for a second, which ended up looking a lot cleaner. It allowed me to more directly go to the drive.
Yeah, it like
but again,
almost blends.
Ended up not being the final version. If you go one more, I think this is the last one. You can see that I decided that the middle one should just be I'd either figured something out. I forgot exactly what the details were, but I'd figured out how to add in the middle hit from combo B, and then that's the interconnecting bit, and then it's the 2 drives. And that's what it is currently.
Yeah, it's pretty sick.
And the idea of using the last hit for Dance Macabre ended up going on to ended up being its own move, Slugger, which you can just do back forward Swordmaster at any point. And if you do combos, have you considered using that? It's just the last hit of Dance Macabre at any time to end a combo.
That would be
just the thought.
Helpful. Yeah. What's it called?
Anyway,
Slugger?
Yeah, it's called Slugger in the options, and it's shuffle with Swordmaster.
Because it's
really and then here,
it has a really nice.
I don't do it here, but like it's in the table. Trust me.
Okay.
But the bit after this is the very first PvP footage. So the story behind this is actually worth mentioning, just because of how fucking funny it is.
What the fuck?
Okay, so what happened was, a while back, all the way in February, pause this for a second, because this is a bit of a thing. Like, a while back in, like, February or April or something, I'd been trying to get PvP working, and I'd grabbed and I'd gone to Mission 18 with him, where you fight an enemy Griffin and Shadow. And I basically found the memory values for the friendly versions and the enemy versions in the game, and I basically just ran comparisons against them like for hours and hours and hours, and found something that in single player actually changed it so some enemies couldn't hit you. Like if you changed it from one value to another, from the enemy value to a friendly value, all of a sudden you couldn't hit the player. You couldn't hit the enemies. So I was like super excited, and I booted up multiplayer to check it out, and nothing happened, and that code that didn't even execute for whatever reason.
Right.
Cut to 3 months later. I'm bored. I finished coding something for Cavalier or something. It's like 11 p.m. at night. I have nothing to do. I'm like, fuck it, let's try some PvP again. So I hit up Penguin, and I ask him for some moves that can damage players and enemies. In this case, this is the Judecca's... It's one of the Judeca attacks that can hit enemies and players. And Penguin was just like, all right, sure. And then he swapped it on the gunshots, and we booted up. And I booted up the old PvP table, the thing that didn't work. I activated it, and I was like, okay, let's see if I can't try debugging some shit and see what's going on here. So I was attacking Penguin, and nothing was happening. And I was like, okay. And then I tab out, and I'm looking at the code. And then I hear Dante grunt in pain. And I tab back in, and Dante has taken damage. And we both proceed to lose our goddamn minds, because by complete fucking coincidence, that combination was enough to make it so a networked player could damage you, if not the other way around. So that is the story behind the first PvP match, which is two people firing Judeca projectiles against each other and only getting damaged instead of actually taking the damage. So yeah.
Want me to play? Yeah.
Yeah.
That's interesting though that you used that fucking Judeca attack. What made you...
So there's a very limited number of attacks in the game that can damage both players and enemies. And the logic I basically had was like, okay, even if I get this stuff working, attacks probably aren't designed to hit players. So if there's like an attack that can hit both players and enemies, that would be good for like testing everything. Because then regardless of whether or not the game considers the thing being attacked a player or an enemy, it should hit. So Hell Judeca's middle attack ended up carrying us for a lot of the fucking development process because it was very useful for understanding what made attacks hit what. So thank you, Hell Judeca, best enemy in DMC5.
Yeah.
So here we have, it's gone back to shit, but I know what this footage is now, so thankfully it's not too much of a concern. So what we have there is basically the next thing we did was we swapped enemy attacks from the boss versions of Shadow and Griffin onto the player versions of those characters, and that enabled their attacks to work, which meant that they could attack me, but not the other way around. And then I think the clip after this was when we'd figured out the mystery. It's all gone to shit again. I'm just like looking at 60 by 60 pixels. But right here you have, this is after we figured out how to change the properties of attacks, I think using file mods. And we changed it so they were all enemy based. And you can see that there's a player being juggled for the first time. We also noticed, interestingly enough, that clashes just worked out of the box without any issue.
That's fucking insane.
And then here, I think this footage right here, I can barely see it. Oh yeah, no, that's just also the slowdown from SDT worked. But no, this right here, the footage afterwards.
Yep.
Is the first bit of footage we got after we got all the attacks working and after I added enemy step. This isn't actually this isn't me playing, this is just Penguin and Cyan, but you can see they're fucking going at it, and this was like the first actual look at what PvP in DMC5 actually looked like. So yeah, there you go.
It's so fucking cool. Like, it's just cool.
It's rare for a fighting game, in my opinion, to just inherently... I'm going to stop screen sharing now because I can see nothing.
Yeah.
But it's so rare, in my opinion, personally, for a fighting game to actually play and... it's so rare for a fighting game, in my opinion, to play and actually look cool. Like, just inherently, without having to understand any of the mechanics. Like, Street Fighter and fucking Mortal Kombat, they all look cool after you, like, get over, like, how the animations are and you understand what's going on to an extent.
Yeah.
DMC5 PvP combat just inherently looks cool out of the box. It looks like two Dragon Ball characters are fucking fighting.
Yeah. It's fucking...
You heard me, Flan.
Yeah,
hell yeah, it doesn't look cool. It looks goofy as shit. Anyway,
Did the process of PvP conflict with other mods enabled?
by and large, not really. If both players are actually running Strive and have all the correct options on, Dante can do most of his Strive moveset without any issues. I think the one thing that doesn't sync is like summon swords round trips. So, but aside from that, there's very few actual mod conflicts. The game is very good about syncing your multiplayer stuff, regardless of what mods you have on.
Yeah.
You can even have different turbo speeds, and it'll work.
The game's netcode, it's like the fucking Fox engine of multiplayer, homie. It's crazy, like how fucking good that netcode is.
Yeah, it's like sure, it's not perfect. Characters teleport around like fuck when things get desynced. But the fact that it's staying synced at all is like a goddamn miracle.
Exactly, yeah. Like, I'm surprised you can even play with other people, never mind, like, actually see them doing shit. It's cool. It's, like, crazy. Has
Yeah.
Hitch...
3v3 shit is I just feel the need to say,
Uh-huh.
3v3, like, Nero versus Dante versus V simultaneously, that shit hits different. Anyway.
I think the real thing that just... The main thing here is just, like, figuring out how the fuck to have, like, 3 Dantes.
It's complicated. A lot of
Yeah.
what we do with the PvP stuff is just working off the co-op trainer and what exists for it already.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of shit is like, if Dante says it can't be done, it can't really be done. And that's more or less the end of it.
It's a shame. But
Yeah.
the
Well,
fact
I
that...
might look into it more in the future. I don't have any real hopes, but hey, you never know.
I think that presents one of the big difficulties for doing a tournament. It's like, oh, I'm a Dante main. Ah, so am I. Ah, okay. Who plays fucking Nero or V? You know, like, how do you work that out?
Well, the answer is, assuming that Capcom devs fail to remove certain files from the game when Special Edition comes out, they play Virgil instead. But I think I think that having like 3 more conventional characters will make PvP stuff more viable. But yeah, the mirror match thing is a problem, and I'm not necessarily sure how to resolve it right now.
Yeah.
I do have ideas, but they might involve like local PvP somehow. I don't know. We'll see.
You can do Parsec, I guess, but I mean, who's gonna be willing to do that is the problem. I don't know. The fact that you got PvP working in the first place is so fucking cool. And like I saw some people like, this shit looks hella janky and it's not gonna be fun. Like, it's genuinely fun.
Yeah, that was the other very surprising thing when Cyan and Penguin had their first match, was that I woke up to I coded the thing. I coded the enemy step stuff for all the characters. The enemy step stuff, I had to add exceptions to the game that made it so characters could enemy step off each other, because Dante, Nero, and V don't have enemy step hitboxes. Right? So I coded that at like maybe 2 a.m. and I uploaded the file and I was like, all right, peace fuckers, and then I crashed. Wake up the next morning. 136 new messages.
That's fucking crazy.
Most of them all caps key smashing. And I was like, oh, did we make something entertaining? And the answer was apparently yes. Yes, we did. And Cyan had to stay quiet about it. Tragedy of the modern... You didn't even fucking stay quiet about it. You told people in Community Edition, bitch.
Yeah, that's how I found out. Like, did you...
Okay, I had to stay quiet about it. No, you didn't. No, you fucking didn't.
See when you realized... Anyway. See when you realized that I knew, did you like... Because you... I don't know if you
well,
did.
No, because you didn't actually... It was. I thought you'd been leaked as well, but no, you just seen the old shit where people could lock on and not do damage.
No, that's the excuse I used when I realized I wasn't supposed to say anything. Like, I had seen it.
Oh, you had?
Yeah, I just realized, like, fuck, I wasn't supposed to tell anyone. Okay, excuse. And the excuse worked, so you're welcome.
Yeah,
Cyan.
I legit believed it. Oh, well. At least you got to see the cool video footage.
Oh, like, and see, to be fair, and like, I did not expect it to fucking pop off the way it did. Like, I thought, that's gonna be a dead end. Like, no?
No, surprisingly, it lends itself pretty well. I think it's just the amount of shit that all ended up working without having to do workarounds.
Yeah.
I feel like if Royal Guard hadn't worked and we had to manually code that, and parrying didn't work, and fucking all the time stop stuff and all that shit didn't actually work out of the box, then it would have been like a dead end. But everything just kind of worked really well and was really fun. So then we were like, yeah, fuck it. Ship it.
Also, I'm gonna keep saying cyan because that's what I'm used to. I don't want to step out of my comfort zone and
That's
say
fine.
cyan.
We'll keep mispronouncing the name.
Yeah. Listen, okay.
I refuse to know I don't know what the correct answer is, and I'm never going to find out.
um, okay, let me pull up the questions that we got yesterday.
Yeah.
There was a couple of goofy ones. There was a couple of good ones. What some people do is they like prepare their answers in advance. Did you do that, or are you just like gonna freestyle it off the top?
I will freestyle.
Okay, good shit. Okay, number one is from Chodmeister. It's a great name.
Oh boy.
Any plans to do anything with the taunt system?
So, very recently, taunt system gonna have to be more specific there, but I did figure out a taunt selector recently. And what you can do there is you can sign, and it's a cheat I'm working on currently. It's not done yet, but in theory, once you're done, you should be able to pick the taunts that are used for air taunt, S rank, air taunt, normal taunt, lock on taunt, S rank lock on taunt, bloody palace taunt, and EX provocation taunt. So that would be 7 options to assign specific taunts to. So that will hopefully be useful if like there's a combo or you're like working on a boss video and you really want a specific taunt to like tie it together. Because I've seen a whole bunch of shit. It's like, especially like in boss video on YouTube's where it's like, boy, that was a really good appropriate taunt. How many times did you restart the fight to get that?
Yeah.
And so hopefully this will minimize a lot of grief there. The other thing V gets a worse air taunt at S rank. Fuck off, it's worse. It's objectively better. It's to the ground. Literally nothing else in V's moveset does that, aside from Royal Fork, and that requires DT and also puts you in a lockup shit and a bunch of other stuff. Anyway. I lost the combo to taunt RNG, dude. Yeah, so being able to just pick certain taunts is going to be good. I also have an idea, at least for Nero, to make it so you can do like taunt variations of his moves. So like if you're holding sword and then if you're holding Exceed and then taunt, Nero does the thing where he flips the sword over and revs it on the ground. If you taunt while you're holding down gun, Nero does the thing where he spins around and automatically reloads.
Oh, that would be sick. Yeah, I see what you mean. Yeah.
So shit like that, I think, would be very fun. None of the other characters really have like mechanic-based taunts. Other than Dante's Rose, which, by the way, I'm going to be speeding the startup on the Rose up.
Yeah.
For the ground one.
100%.
So don't worry. That'll be coming at some point.
Yeah, fair enough.
So there's your answer there. I do have plans for the taunt system, and please look forward to them.
I love that some taunts actually have real properties. Yeah, those are cool. Anywho,
it's the best. Nero has by far the most entertaining taunts in the game.
Yeah.
Dante has the best air taunt, though, like by far.
Yeah, I mean,
it's busted. Everything. Comparing anything else to it is just unfair.
Yeah. Nero's running dropkick taunt. I mean, that's cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna be real. That would be nice to have on an input that isn't taunt, because taunt plus direction is garbage.
It's not that.
So
bad,
yeah,
is it?
I don't like it.
You're not a fan.
But, that's me.
That is, yeah. Okay, the next question comes from... My voice is dying on me.
That's fine.
The next one comes from HeckTech. What is the most painful part about modding the game?
So, there is a thing called AOB porting. So what this means is basically when you're looking at code in memory, specifically like active running code, not values in memory or anything. So like the code that's executing. Like if X then do Y, not like a value that is set. To find those to mod, we inject over those lines of code in the game and replace them with something different. Finding them, we normally go to an address. But those addresses can change in between versions of the game, which causes them to break. So what we have to do is do something called AOB porting, which is you track down you get a value for that address that is an array of bytes that can be searched for in the next version of the executable. And then finding that in the code will find you your new address. And then you replace the old address with the new address. And you have to do this for every single cheat, not every single component, every single cheat, any single time you inject in a memory address, you have to do it for that if you want to port to the next update. I had back when I was doing dev streams in Discord, I had 2 streams that were entirely nothing of me other than me doing AOB porting and talking about life, and it was just like the most soul-crushing thing in existence. I had to do some more recently, and it feels like dying every time because there's nothing creative about it. There's nothing entertaining. There's no immediate reward. It's just you and an incredibly simple, incredibly repetitive task that you just have to do over and over and over and over. And it is the worst part by far. So yeah, AOB porting destroys my fucking soul. And I'm pretty sure Cyan disappeared from a month due to burning out when doing it.
That makes sense.
Anyway.
Hope you're ready for another one when fucking Virgil comes.
I've done it already, or rather, I've done as much of it as I can. I'm gonna have to do more when Virgil comes out to make it workable, but at least I'll have half of it done.
Alright. Moving on, the next question is from Amazing Gaming. What was your inspiration on... Sorry, did you say something?
No, just recognize the name.
Okay, yeah, shout outs to him. He's doing very well on YouTube. But anyway, what was your inspiration on modding DMC5 or just modding in general?
I think I would a bit into detail on that towards the beginning.
About
the style synergy thing. And generally the reason I keep doing it is because I have fun ideas. I think everyone has fun ideas, which is why those images of movesets exist online. Like people brainstorming a new Smash move or coming up with alternate control schemes and stuff like that. And the difference is just I feel like at this point I have enough self-confidence that if I come up with an idea for a game, rather than just going, oh, that's cool, and then dismissing it, I feel like I can actually, if I want to spend the time, I feel at this point that I can do that. So that's the main thing that keeps me going. Having a cool idea, it's like, I want to see this in the game. And then you just commit and you do.
Fair enough. Next question is from Devil Never Cry. He asks, have you ever hitchhiked?
Once. During a birthday party.
Oh, what?
Sure. I was 10. That was a bad birthday. The cops were called.
Oh, yeah.
What, did you fucking escape or some shit and go...
Let's just say that it involves a cow skeleton, a cornfield, several miles of walking down a highway, the cops being called, and my parents crying. Also the dogs.
There is no fucking...
About the dogs.
There is no fucking way I'm letting this podcast finish without you telling this story. I hope you realize that.
Well, guess what? Guess you'll have to learn about it on Run of the Mills number 13.
You're not gonna tell us? Is it embarrassing or something?
Nah, just it would take an hour to tell and save it for another time.
Fair enough. That's a fucking interesting story though, homie.
Oh yeah.
I like how someone else came in the background like, don't forget the dog. Fuck yep, the dog. Forgot about him.
Dogs, plural.
Oh, dogs, plural, Jesus.
Anyway.
What else we got? I'm gonna set up a new Run in the Mills purely for that story and then finish it. Guy here, the Hitchhiker, comments, how is that Millz guy so handsome and attractive? How does he do it? How do I do it? Any way that pleases, homie. That's how I do it.
Well done.
Yeah, are you proud of me?
Yep. I was curious how you were going to do it. Excellent work.
If anything, it was fairly predictable. Red Winged Devil asks, for Millz and Hitchhiker, if you guys did battle it out on Strive mod PvP, who would win?
Millz.
Hitchhiker, he would fucking make it so I can't actually play the game. He would... God, we should do that. Me if I cheat, if it's legit, Millz 100%.
The wildest shit I think about doing any of this modding stuff is then tuning into other people's streams of PvP and going, "Wait, you can do what? Excuse me? The fuck
Yeah,
do you mean you just royal released the punchline?"
like that was
Anyway,
that royal release was desperation, homie. Like I
it was
jumped.
sick as fuck though.
Yeah, it did look good, didn't it? I fucking yeah, that was pleasing. And the infinite fucking parry window
Oh
revolver
yeah,
was
the infinite parry window with the ragtime is inspired.
that was accidental, but it was so fucking cool. Yeah, like
I
it's
think
just
the biggest
mm,
I think the biggest big brain moment I've had in PvP, I really do need to upload this footage at some point, was playing V, where I did like the biggest 200 IQ move in existence. Which was I think someone, who the fuck was playing Dante? Cian or Penguin, one of them. Doesn't matter. And I was playing V, and they just went into Royal Revenge. Right?
yep.
The dance, and they were like, "Come at me." I was like, "No." And then we stared at each other for 10 seconds, and I was like, "Okay, this isn't working." And then I had an idea. I changed my position a tiny bit, and then I clicked left bumper. And Nightmare dropped out of the sky, took the hit from Royal Revenge, and flattened Dante.
Yeah, you do need to upload that, homie. That sounds funny.
So yeah, V viable in PvP. Just have a bigger brain. Anyway.
Something that I might test at some point. You know how like those Royal Revenge swaps where it's like it turns into not the Gerbera, what's his name? Garyon bubble? Like the time bubble?
Yeah.
I wonder if that like desyncs or whatever, if it's like consistent. And I wonder if it affects the enemy like the person you're playing against, because that could be interesting.
I'll tell you right now, it'll flat out. Well, first of all, it's not going to work on them unless they have to swap as well. And secondly, it's going to break Royal Release because due to some stupid coding reasons, Royal Revenge needs to be involved whenever somebody Royal releases.
What?
Yeah, it's weird. For some reason, Royal Release doesn't work on the person being released on, but Royal Revenge does. So what I do is I have a swap that basically never when you're playing as Dante, only when Dante is playing against you, it swaps the Royal Release when the Royal Revenge release. So what happens is on your side you do a release, on their side Dante does a revenge, and that revenge just magically hits them, and that's how I got Royal Releasing correctly working in PvP.
That's crazy. Also, another thought that's came to my head is like there was a swap where it was like Faust hat, but if you shoot it shoots out what's the shock arm called? What's Nero's shock arm called again? Overture? Yeah. It like spawns an overture bomb. I wonder if like Dante can straight up just fucking kill himself, like he just spawns in like bombs and just fucking blows himself up. I have been
messing with that stuff live in the code for Nero, so I don't know. I'll see.
Yeah,
also, Penguin apparently did that for you.
Yeah, like thanks, Penguin. I appreciate it. I'd done some cool stuff with that, but it never made. See, it was comboing an enemy. It was basically an enemy landed at a barrel, then the barrel exploded and it threw the enemy into the bomb, and that's how it finished. But it was really fucking hard to do. Like it was such a pain in the ass because I have to reload the checkpoint every time the fucking barrel explodes. And like if the enemy's positioning slightly off,
barrels mod.
HitchHiker, I would name my firstborn after you if you did that shit. Like no joke. If you can make it so you could spawn barrels, I will name the fucking combo mat after you. I will call it the hitchhike.
We'll see. From my understanding, or rather from what Penguins told me, barrels are in a weird scenario in which they are neither dead nor alive, which creates some problems, but we'll see. Anyway,
Sorry, go on. What were you gonna say?
If we've got anything else, that would be a good time for it. Otherwise, I'm gonna have to wrap up pretty soon.
There's a couple more. We've talked about the Virgil things. Have you modded other games? Yes, you have. Which mod did you enjoy developing the most? I mean, I guess it was like.
No, PvP development was actually hot garbage. Like, it was fun when it worked, but developing itself was like one of the most tedious experiences I've ever had.
Yeah.
I think that was probably the most fun to work on was either I want to say either the combo C stuff
Mm-hmm.
or the Neo Balrog. Never mind me. Oh yeah, a moment of silence for Cian's sacrifice of spending 12 hours looking through Dante's hit collision file to find the thing that actually let you swap the player versus enemy hit type.
Fucking maniac. I love him. Slash her as
I
well.
woke up and PvP worked. It was incredible.
Yeah. Um,
Anyway,
how much does Capcom giving the PC community the shaft motivate you?
well, motivated enough to make a legendary Dark Knight mod, and other than that, we'll just see how things play out.
Yep. DCD asks, if you had the possibility to access the assets or source code of any game for the intentions of modding, which one would it be and why? That was the last question.
Huh. Well, it is really tempting to say Devil May Cry 5 because it's just I've worked on it so much. I think the actual answer is that in terms of like wild ass fantasy dreams, I've always wanted to turn one of the Persona games into something that plays like Astral Chain. That probably means nothing to y'all, but it would be cool. Don't worry about it.
I mean, I played Astral Chain.
The Persona is like a game where it's an RPG where you have like a second stand shit that you can swap between, and I
Yeah.
like that playing like Astral Chain would be so fucking cool, especially like Persona 5 or something. Anyway,
We've got one last question here. It's from a guy called Millz. He asks, airhead redirection when? I wish I didn't laugh during that. I completely fucked it up. I was trying to keep a straight face. God damn it. No, you don't. You don't have to. You don't have to answer that. Don't worry.
well, why don't you check Nexus mod, Mills?
Oh, is it uploaded?
Nah, I can't. It's not yet, but it will be uploaded. It will be uploaded as soon as this ends. I
Really?
should have uploaded it in advance, but I am 90% certain it is done. I was actually testing it before we. I was actually testing it right before I was on, and yeah, if Kyo responds back and everything is a-okay, then it should be up by tonight.
You pick Kyo, the guy that fucking can't guardfly? Really? You pick the fucking him? Why did you not get Cyan to do it, you maniac? Get the bald fucking Frenchman to do it, you crazy bitch. Nah, I'm only joking. Kyo, love you. I think I'll bring Kyo on the podcast next, to be honest. Probably.
He's a interesting man.
I'm listening. Nah, I'll probably get him on next. He is an interesting man. That is correct. So when HitchHiker fucking uploads that new cheat table tonight, I guess. Go down.
Oh, sorry, real quick. Ban as ASTOXX. That's the worst opinion I've ever seen.
Wait, what happened?
Don't worry about it. His opinion is just garbage and he shouldn't exist. It's fine. Anyway.
Someone asked who your favorite Guilty Gear character was, so I should probably ask you that.
Oh, who have I fucking played the most? Christ. The name of the character I wanted to get good at is currently fucking escaping me, and that is just embarrassing. What the fuck? I played a bunch of Milia, and there's one. Who the fuck is it? And I wanted to get good with. I legit can't remember. This is super embarrassing. It's not Johnny. It's someone else. Whatever. I'll post it on Twitter afterwards.
This never happens, I promise. Anyway, go download Strive / the collab table if you don't have it already. It'll improve your DMC5 experience dramatically. HitchHiker, thanks for being a wonderful guest and for
No problem. Happy to be here.
making me actually restart this goddamn podcast series. Like, I have fucking stopped and restarted this shit like 4 times in a row. So, thanks for motivating me to bring it back again. Probably going to hiatus again.
Hey, happy to be something to talk about, I guess.
Yeah, it was a pleasure. And it was great to speak to you for the first time as well, like properly, because obviously we only recently got acquainted.
Nice talking to you as well.
Yeah.
You're all right for Scott.
Yeah, you're not bad for it. No, that's an Irish accent. You're not Australian accent down under. You're not bad for an Australian, mate. How good's my Australian impression?
I mean,
Going down
I'll
under
give
with the
you
kangaroos.
It's not the worst one I've ever heard.
It's not the worst one you've ever heard. Okay, I'll take that. Nice German impression.
Nice. Damn.
Thanks, Mick. Okay, we're gonna wrap up there. Hitchhiker, thank you. Any final thoughts? Anything you want to say? Now's the time.
If you are doing the big combos in the DMCs, please use my mod and send footage of it to me, because that is like the thing that makes me the happiest. Like, if you want to thank me for making this, send me footage of you doing this, of you using the stuff, because that is the thing that makes me the happiest when it comes to this whole endeavor. And yeah, that's about it.
See, that's the difference between a modder and a developer, isn't it? Passion over profit. That's why I respect the fuck out of you motherfuckers. Okay, I'm gonna play us out with the Voltaic remix, work in progress.
Nice. Let's hear it.
Okay, go on then. Is this gonna work? Did fucking Ableton just crash? Really? It's a bit too loud. Alright. Thanks, Hitch. Thanks, everyone. Take care. Bye.
See ya.